Go ahead. Make my day.
The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
Here's Johnny.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is Sparta!
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
You talking to me?
I see dead.
Houston, we have a problem.
Just a drink. A martini, shaken not stirred.
Why so serious?
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Welcome to Dinner and a Podcast. Here are your hosts, Steve, Joe, and Mike.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 63 of Dinner and a Podcast, a show where three best friends get together, share a meal, and a conversation discussing all things pop culture, movies, TV, and comics. Make sure to check out our Facebook page by searching Dinner and a Podcast, our website, dinnerandapodcast.weebly.com. There you can find comic reviews, full comic synopses, dinner and a movie reviews. Just a bit outside, our sports section, and you can find our shop where you can buy our pins and our stickers. Our Twitter feed and our Instagram feed are at Dinner Podcast. Want to give some shout outs to the Geeks Talk Back, the More Gooder Than Podcast, the Blue Shirt Talk Podcast, Not For Nothing Radio, Via VHS, Not Another Nerdy Podcast, Aussie and the Palm, Gooners in the USA.
I have a new podcast.
You do?
Yes.
Who are they?
My friend started a podcast. She's I don't want to call it like do-it-yourselfer, but her and her husband...
Steve's a do-it-yourselfer.
Yes. Do-it-himselfer.
Oh, well, yeah.
They have like a home rental company. It's her and her husband. They organize stuff. They'll come to your house.
They just renovate?
Yeah, renovate.
That's pretty cool.
And
Did they
organize.
flip houses?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
They were on Beach Flip.
Yeah, yeah.
On HGTV.
Oh, that's a great show.
Yeah. They had a house.
That's a great show.
It is.
It actually is.
Yeah.
Each person gets a beach house. I'm sorry.
It's good. Go ahead, Steve.
Say whatever little manhood you have left.
What was the podcast? You never said it.
The podcast is called Stand Out, Growing Your Organizing and Productivity Business.
Okay.
That's
a long name for a podcast.
Yeah, well, it's their first...
Joe, I think it's too similar to ours. I don't know if we should be promoting it.
It's their first episode, so I figured we give them a shout out and help them out a little bit.
Can you find them on iTunes?
Yes, they're on iTunes, and they're on Instagram and Facebook. Google Nesters. That's their company name, and you can find all their information on there.
Oh, there you go. All right. Joe, do you like cookies?
I love cookies.
I love cookies, too.
I love free cookies.
I like free cookies. We get a lot of free cookies. You know who from?
Who?
Our friend Marie DeZio.
I heard she's a murderer.
She is a murderer, but she's also a great baker.
She murders, yeah.
My friend Marie is a great, outstanding baker. She makes a lot of really awesome cookies and cakes and cake pops and pull-apart cakes and cupcakes and all types of sweets and goodies. You can find her on Instagram at DeZio Bakes. That's DIZEO BAKES. Don't ask her for Schviadel, because she will not make it for you.
Which one do you make it for you?
Not even for me.
Joe, do me a favor. You ask.
I don't like it.
Oh, it's delicious.
So then just get it and throw it away in front of Steve.
Just stomp on it. I had asked her for Schviadel for St. Joseph's Day, and I got a text message that said,
because your name's not Joseph.
She goes, you keep promoting stuff I don't make. Stop promoting stuff I don't make. So make sure you contact Marie at DeZioBakes@gmail.com or on Instagram at DeZioBakes and ask her for Schviadel. We have one Funko left that we never got rid of, that we were supposed to give away, and we never did.
We tried, but the guy who won it didn't contact us.
He didn't contact us. So someone out there, how do we want to give this away? Do you want to pose a question to somebody about the show, a trivia question? We need to get rid of this pop. It's a Batman the Animated Series Funko Pop. It's really nice, brand new in the box. We want to give it away to somebody. How are we going to do it?
We're always looking for reviews on iTunes.
There you go.
Done.
The 35th, because we have 34 reviews right now. We'll get a Batman the Animated Series Funko Pop, brand new in the box. Be the 35th review, and we will contact you. Make sure you leave some type of email or contact, or you can contact us, dinnerandpodcast@gmail.com.
Or Facebook, or Instagram, or Twitter.
Any of those outlets would be perfect. Today's show is going to be about our favorite comedy specials.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. Lots of laughs.
We have talked about comedy specials a lot over the past 60 episodes, and we're going to throw out our favorites and ones that you should watch. Maybe some of these are going to be your favorites.
I found this to be very, very challenging.
Did you?
Very.
I have way more than 5.
I have a lot more than 5, but
yeah.
the problem is, as I look, like, trying to put them in some kind of order.
Yeah.
Like, there's stuff I loved years ago.
Yeah.
But I find that comedy is very much of a time and
Right.
of a...
Oh, none of my stuff is could be watched today, I don't think.
Yeah, like, it doesn't hold up. Like...
Oh, no, I think mine holds up. I just think it's too racy for people nowadays.
I was going to point to Eddie Murphy's Delirious.
Okay.
You cannot listen to that now and not go... Ooh.
And not cringe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gay humor. There's a lot... Like, it's very funny.
Right.
But it's stuff that you could not get away with now.
Half of the guys on this list are sexual harassers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right up your alley.
It's there's also, like, some of it's very time sensitive and topical.
Right.
So it depends on, like, you made jokes now about, like, the fall of communism and, like, you know, how nuclear weapons and, like, 80s comedy, like, it doesn't...
No, of course not.
You know, in 20 years from now, when you're making jokes about, like, the Middle East and terrorism, you're going to be like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't vibe anymore.
Like, if your kids grow up and you're like, oh, watch this comedy special, it's really funny, and they're talking about...
I mean, some hold up.
Yeah.
Some don't.
Right.
So it was hard for me to kind of, like, I could list a bunch, but to, like, figure out, like, well, which one is better now, it's really hard.
That's why comedians that deal with the everyday things that happen to you, those are the ones that hold up. Those are the ones that are really funny. George Carlin was a master.
You can relate to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're always going to be able to relate to going in and not being dealing with the cashier in a supermarket or something like that.
Carlin was famous for, like, he would do his build up a routine and then put out a CD or put out a special, like, CD or albums early on, and then just scrap it.
Yeah.
Like, there's some comedians who, like, they get a routine and they work it for a decade.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard that's what Jay Leno does. Like, it's the same routine. That's why you don't see it anywhere.
Okay.
Like, he's really big on, like, I never want to be recorded. I don't want no cameras in the theater, no nothing.
Yeah.
Because he has this very set routine that he has worked to honed to a razor sharp edge, but it's the same routine everywhere.
Yeah.
And that I prefer the guys who are like, I'm just going to try something new. I'm just going to try something new.
Well, you can see how passionate we are about comedy because we are talking about it right off the bat. But first, as we usually do, Joe, do you have any news?
I got a couple of things. We'll see what we got.
Oh, you didn't do your catchphrase.
Want me to start over?
Yeah.
What's his catchphrase?
He had one last week. You don't remember it? Joe, you got any news?
You know it.
There you go.
So this week, I read an article that Mark Hamill wants to play Doc Ock in a Marvel MCU movie. How do you guys feel about this?
Let's do it.
I'm all about it.
I will watch Mark Hamill do anything.
Okay, here's another one.
Okay.
Lindsay Lohan wants to play Batgirl in Josh Whedon's DCU universe.
No.
So we got 1 and 1.
Yeah.
Lindsay, does she even act
Lindsay Lohan.
anymore?
Yep. She wants to play Batgirl.
I thought didn't she get bitten by a snake?
What?
Yeah, I think she was in Thailand for New Year's and she got bitten by a snake.
Fake news.
Oh my God.
I'm sure I'm sure she was the purveyor of the fake news.
That sounds great because I'm so nasal.
Do we have another
Another Steve impression?
Another celebrity impression.
So why are you
by
so
Steve?
nasally?
We'll get into that in wasting time.
Okay.
I'll tell you later.
Walking Dead over here.
Yeah.
Between the two of you, he's dying and this one's been out on a date, so he's a little in the bag.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about this. This is what happens on the car ride
That's why I had to pick him up.
Oh, okay.
Called my chauffeur.
All right.
In other Marvel news, Chris Hemsworth said he wants to stay on past Avengers 4 to play Thor. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, of course, man. Continuity.
So, out of the big 3 movies, Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor, Hemsworth is all for more. Evans and Robert Downey are like, I think we're done. So what are the odds they both die in Infinity War?
I guess pretty good.
Think there's like a foreshadowing or...
I don't think there's any chance they both make it out.
One of them's going.
If not both, yeah.
Got it.
That's going to be sad.
Marvel has so many characters they can pull from. I'm okay with it. Let's, bring in some other characters.
I love Chris Evans as Captain America.
No, yes. You couldn't put someone else in that role.
No.
But just move on now.
I mean, I guess you could. I mean, you could make Bucky. I mean, it'll follow
you could never do another
Captain America.
Steve Rogers, pick some other actor and be like, no, it's the same guy.
Right.
Like when you think of Captain America now, you're like, that's him.
Yeah.
And I'm almost thinking, and I don't read Captain America, but if I read it, I would picture Chris Evans' voice.
I do read Captain America, and I think the comic book Captain America is a little bit more brawny. He's a little bit more rugged, I think, than Chris Evans.
I'm okay with Chris Evans.
No, I love Chris Evans, and I wouldn't change him as an actor in that role at all.
Right.
But when you look at a drawn Steve Rogers, he's 3 times the size as Chris
Who are you gonna
Evans.
find to be that size?
No, but dude, like, what's his name? Henry Cavill. Dude, that dude's huge.
I'm sure if you put
Chris
the two of them
Evans is
together,
pretty
they're probably
big,
the
dude.
No,
same
he's a big
size.
boy. But like the jaw on Steve Rogers in the comics is just big and square. Like he's just like a box. Like
You're crazy.
I just see a more rugged man, like a Tom Berenger type of face.
Tom Berenger.
Yeah.
You're the oldest man I know.
Oh, shut up.
We know that already. Old man Steve's back.
Old man Steve's back, baby.
So another movie that has a casting role that I didn't even know was coming out. Maybe you know a little bit about this, Mike. Cruella de Vil.
First I'm hearing of it.
They're doing a standalone movie.
The 1001 Dalmatians?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of like they did Maleficent and...
Oh, okay.
It makes sense. I mean, those live
Right.
actions for Disney make a lot of
But
money.
she's just an angry rich woman, isn't she?
So I read that Emma Stone's going to play Cruella de Vil.
Emma Stone. Which one is she?
From Gwen Stacy from Amazing Spider-Man.
She's not old enough. She's like our age.
This is going to be...
young.
20.
This is going to be a young...
Okay.
Cruella de Vil
How she
in
became Cruella?
the late 1970s in London, and they're not sure if Disney's going to play into the whole punk rock scene that was going on in the UK
Isn't
at the
she
time.
like an aristocrat? Like she wears furs and has like a monocle. Like that's what I think of.
monocle? a monocle.
She doesn't like hold her
She's
glasses.
not Mr. Peanut.
She,
She has a monocle.
she doesn't hold her glasses up with a stick.
When she used to date the Monopoly guy.
Doesn't she wear like a mink stole and like she wears a black dress and pearls? Like punk rock. That's not punk rock. That's like flapper. That's like modern flapper. I don't know.
I'm sure they're going to figure a way to tie it
I
in.
am not in with this one.
Okay.
What are you gonna say? What are you gonna
Nothing.
say?
I'm just... How he ties flappers, monocles, and Mr. Peanut all together in his
I'm on
head.
really strong antibiotics.
She has a monocle.
I got something that you might
Her
like.
friends definitely have monocles.
Yes.
She hangs out with people with monocles. You know she does.
The Monopoly Man.
Mr. Peanut.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I don't know who else. Does the guy from
The
Gilligan's
Penguin.
Island? The Penguin.
That penguin, yeah, he has a monocle.
What about
Come
the
on,
guy?
one more.
The guy from Gilligan's Island? He doesn't have one, right?
The Professor?
No, the rich
Mr.
guy.
Howell. Mr. Howell.
Mr. Howell.
I'm sure he has
Howell.
one.
Howell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like a monocle guy.
I don't know if he has one though. He might have lost it.
I don't think he does. He lost it in the crash. Let's go with that.
It fell off his eye.
Professor uses it to make a laser.
What about eye patches? Do they count?
No, eye patches don't count. No. They're the opposite of monocles. You can't see through them.
Did Dr. Evil have an eye a monocle?
No.
Okay.
No, he didn't.
Monocles are pretty rare.
Yeah, I don't know anybody else.
I don't even understand the point of a monocle.
It's so you can it's a
I understand,
prescription lens.
but why one?
It's a corrective lens.
But why
one eye.
one?
Maybe they couldn't. They didn't figure.
You can't
it out.
afford the other one?
Yeah, I guess.
It's usually really, really rich guys.
It's easy. It's easy to store in your pocket. Like they won't break. Like you don't have to fold them up and take up a whole pocket. You can kind of
Right next to your pocket watch.
Yeah.
Is your
What's your
monocle.
monocle?
Yeah, in
Both
vest,
on a chain?
in your vest pocket.
I don't, like, what's the point of them? I don't understand the point of a monocle.
I don't know. It was a fancy piece of jewelry back in the 1800s or something. That's totally fake news. I don't know.
Is that your good eye looks at the people you like and the blind eye looks at the help?
I guess. the hell.
No poor people have monocles.
Yeah, you don't want to look those people in the eye.
You've never seen like a guy with a bandana and a monocle. They're always in a tuxedo and a monocle.
Hashtag monocles.
If you're wearing a bandana, you should have an eye patch.
You do.
It's kind of the other end of the spectrum.
All right. Yeah, I was talking. Never mind. I was gonna.
That's what you want to have. Is an eye patch and a monocle. Then it makes sense. Like you don't want to pay for that other lens if you
Then
have
you
an
don't
eye patch.
need a telescope.
What?
Telescope. The pirates use the extending
I think
telescope.
that's technically two monocles then.
You just put the monocle on the end.
On the other end.
Anyway,
Well, Steve, you were telling us last week that you've gotten into anime lately.
I have.
So there's a new film coming out on Netflix called Godzilla: Planet of the Monsters.
Okay.
It's coming out next week.
All right.
I think you might like it.
It's drawn.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's an animated
As opposed to all that live action anime?
I don't know with Joe. You never know with Joe. Who knows? Godzilla.
Planet of the Monsters.
All right. I'll look it up.
There was a trailer that's out. Check it out.
I can't wait for that Batman Ninja movie to come out. Looks really cool.
Disney released a pin for Black Panther.
All right. I like pins.
Yeah, you do.
Mhm.
We all love pins.
Yes.
And everybody's up in arm with this pin.
Oh no.
Because
Is it racist?
It's yes, it is 100%.
Oh no.
It's Black Panther.
Yeah.
But where his eyes are,
Yeah.
they're cut out.
Yeah.
and the skin pigment of the eyes underneath the mask is white.
What do you? So around his eyes is white.
So the eyes are cut out. It's human eyes,
Yeah.
like a mask over, like you're wearing a Halloween mask kind of looking thing.
So he's wearing the Black Panther mask
over,
but there's a cutout of his
Yep.
eyes, like on the new live action Batman.
Yes.
Movies.
Yep.
And the eyes are white.
Yep.
That's a mistake.
I'm sure it's a mistake, but
Yeah.
people are.
I don't think that's racist.
But if you're Disney, how do you let this get out where people can find it?
Yeah, of course.
Because they're like, we were making a $65 billion deal for Fox.
Yeah.
Whoops, we missed this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
We're not sending these back. Just put them out.
Disney makes it go away real quick.
Like, who cares?
Nah.
Who would even notice that?
I could probably name a person that would.
But, like,
notice it.
what's the big, like...
You don't understand, Mike.
No, I don't understand. I
Someone noticed it because it ended up
clearly
on
don't
social
understand.
media.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Yeah,
clearly
well, the
don't
internet
understand.
hates all things.
Yes, that's true.
I got a post from someone I work with the other day. It was an H&M. I don't know if it was an H&M or Lord & Taylor. It was a store's ad for a children's T-shirt.
Right.
And it was a little black boy wearing a sweatshirt that said, like, the wildest monkey in the playground.
Okay.
And my friend on Facebook went berserk. She thought that was extremely racist. She's an African-American individual, thought that was extremely racist. That the little black boy had a sweatshirt that said monkey on it. She thought that was on purpose. So you know what I did? I Googled the hell out of a kid's T-shirt that said the word cracker on it. But I couldn't find any. I'm like, damn, she's right. This is racist. Yeah, I'm sure that Disney will just clean it up and it'll just go away.
Yeah.
As Disney does.
Why did it even come up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so silly.
Yeah.
It's not like they sat in a white, in a room with a whiteboard.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is the new Black Panther.
Right.
And they're like, are those eyes black? Make them white. You know how we feel about the colors. Like, they just didn't do that.
No, they didn't.
They didn't do that. That was clearly like a mistake.
Right.
Like, there's no one in an office like maniacally, rubbing a
Maniacal
But shouldn't have someone looked at the pin before they went out to all the stores?
Yes.
Do you know how many pins they probably just... You've been to the pin store in Disney?
Yeah, of course.
There's how many pins there? 10,000?
Lots of pins.
Yeah.
All the pins.
One slipped through.
Well, somebody's in all of the trouble
And
right now.
You saw the late...
Yeah, but it's not like they all just come random in a box, Mike. They got a shipment of 20
get it.
billion Black Panther pins.
Yes,
get it. I
no,
get it.
maybe, yes, no, racist, yes, no, maybe.
But wait a minute. You spoke to a pin lady who manufactures pins in China.
I did.
Yeah? We
Alice.
couldn't get any of the colors we
You like
wanted.
colors? Colors more good,
You
yes.
remember those conversations?
I can't forget them, Mike. They're emblazoned in my memory.
We make now.
Yeah.
We love you long time.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All the racist stuff.
Do you remember those conversations?
I do.
Hey, we want this in blue. We can't do blue or black. We do red. And then we went, no, we don't like red. She goes, okay, we do red. It's like, okay. Like, there was no, like, and I'm amazed we got what we got out of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Which you can find on our website, dinnerandapodcast.weebly.com at the shop section. $5 a pin. They're really nice.
Yes, they are. They're amazingly nice.
Yeah.
But they're not colored exactly the way we want them.
Phil's, your one in the mail today, buddy. Phil Batista's pins went in the mail today.
Did you send them stickers too?
I sent him stickers as well. Yes, I sent him 2 sets of pins so he can give them to his friends.
Oh, cool.
Or loved ones.
Got
All
it.
right, let's move off this pin. What else you got?
So, our good friend Marie.
The murderer?
Yes.
Okay.
She's got to do us a favor.
Okay.
She needs to start making cookies for us.
All right.
And just putting them in a vault.
Okay.
Because by 2050,
yeah,
we're not going to have any more chocolate left.
Oh, I'll be long dead by 2050.
Dude, that's only like 30 years away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to die in a blaze
don't
of
say
glory.
that. Don't say that. But we're running out of cacao plants?
Yes. Because of climate change, the climates that they're grown in is making more difficult for the plants to thrive.
Really?
So
Is it too hot?
Yes.
Wow. That's weird.
It's not moist enough.
Yeah, it is.
Not moist enough. You know,
Okay.
it needs more moisture. It needs to be wetter.
Yeah.
You know?
You always need more moisture.
Yes. So scientists are trying to...
You don't want to stick your seeds in dry dirt, Joe.
Right. Hurts.
Yeah.
So scientists are trying to genetically modify the plant's DNA to thrive in drier weather.
Yeah.
And it's so bad.
It's going to mix it with cactus DNA.
Right. So the Mars companies pledged $1 billion.
What's the Mars company?
Mars bars, M&Ms. Yeah,
You're not the planet Mars.
I was like, what does having to go with Mars have to do with chocolate? Like, they must really like chocolate.
Yeah.
It's like, we got to figure out how to grow it on Mars.
they're like,
We're not going unless you can figure out how to grow a plant of chocolate on Mars.
Well, there's moisture on Mars, right? So why not?
No, I think that's the biggest problem.
Yeah, there's no moisture on
No
Mars.
atmosphere.
That's the dry. If you can grow it in Mars, you can grow it on Earth.
Yeah.
That's the slogan.
All right, so Mars bars. Okay,
Right.
okay.
So they're pledging $1 billion.
Mars?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it'd be like Cadbury or one of them
Nope.
owned them.
No, Mars.
Mars bars. They're
GMOing.
pledging $1 billion
Yeah.
to reduce their carbon footprint to help save.
The cacao plant.
Yes.
Wow.
I guess you kind of have to if you're a candy and chocolate company.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like that's your number one crop.
I wonder how much chocolate is just wasted though, all the time. Because some of the you got to figure the stores have to throw away tons of candy that go
I'm
bad or don't
sure.
sell, expire.
So Marie, start making us cookies. Just put them off to the side.
You know how hard it is to expire candy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have no idea. No, I don't.
Never had it happen. I've asked because I've never had it happen.
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
So
Marie doesn't use a lot of chocolate though in her cookies. Like she uses sugar and flour and eggs.
Well, I'm
and
telling
milk.
her.
Oh, okay.
Joe's asking for some help here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He wants a vault started and cookies squirreled away.
Okay.
By 2050, you watch. I want to be selling candy bars for like
You're gonna be the
$30
only
a pop.
one.
You're going to be the only guy.
Supply and
I got
demand, Steve.
38-year-old.
Supply and demand.
I got 38-year-old chocolate chip cookies. Who wants them?
Gonna
Why-
be the kingpin of candy.
Why wouldn't Marie sell them?
Don't give her any ideas.
Oh, sorry.
He's corner in the market. It's a tiny corner.
Yeah.
But he's cornering it.
But you just told everyone.
Cut all this out.
All right.
But
Cut all
I
this
actually
out.
have someone that makes good product.
Excellent product.
You gotta have good product to make the money.
You know what? She'll kill the competition.
Literally, cut them to pieces. That's what it is. She'll make the cookies.
Right.
I'll be the kingpin. Mm-hmm. She could be my strongman,
There you go.
my goon.
You're
So
good.
she's doing all the work.
Yeah.
Not only is she making cookies, but now she's breaking ankles. And,
Right.
and Joe's wearing a white tuxedo, shaving his head. I'm the kingpin of this operation.
Brown. It's chocolate.
Oh, here.
There you
White
go.
chocolate.
Well, that's not even.
That's
That's,
true.
not actually chocolate.
I know.
It's the oils of chocolate. Isn't that weird?
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah. They extract the oils from the chocolate. You ever see a cacao plant?
No.
It's kind of nasty looking.
No, there's too much humidity here, I guess. I've never seen one.
I wish. Cacao, it looks like an eggplant,
Right.
or a squash, and inside are all these little tiny beans,
Right.
and they're all like covered in slime and gook. You would never think you want to eat this.
So icky.
It really is icky, and you have to dry them out over many months in like the sun, I guess, and then you grind them up and add milk to it, and that's how you get milk chocolate.
Cool.
Yeah, and if you extract the oils from it, use that to make white chocolate.
You should do this on your science podcast.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will.
You have a science podcast?
No,
Oh.
He's gonna start one now.
No, he's not.
me and Marie.
What?
I don't know.
Okay, so speaking of genetically modified,
Right.
did you guys hear, and you won't believe this because it has to do with science,
Oh,
Steve,
sorry.
that some scientists in Britain
Mm-hmm.
were messing with chicken embryos. They've been trying to like reverse engineer dinosaur characteristics.
All right.
So like
Always a good idea.
what they're trying to do is like force certain genes that are dormant to be expressed or to stop certain genes that are predominant in chickens from being expressed.
Right.
So one of the ones they're working with is the beak. Because the beak is kind of a unique characteristic to birds and didn't exist at all in like dinosaurs or reptiles, which they think, one evolved from the other.
Right.
So they were able to do it.
They made chickens without beaks.
They made chickens with the dinosaur faces.
What?
Get out of town.
Yeah.
Where'd you hear this?
I heard it. It was on Discovery.
FakeNews.com.
No. It was on Planet Earth.
Oh wow, that's just not right, dude.
That's a regular chicken, Mike.
That's not.
Oh my god.
That's today.
No, they aborted all the embryos.
Holy cow.
What do you mean?
But
So
that-
none of them were born?
No, because that's what they were starting to develop into.
That's
They
an
have the skeletons
angry-looking
of them,
chicken.
and they have the skeleton closer to an alligator.
And they were like, no, kill it.
They were basically making little velociraptors.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because they think that a lot of those genes,
And this is why the sex robots are going to kill us.
because the
I have a story for you today.
dinosaur faced chickens.
Because that we have ideas like this. The robots know we shouldn't do this.
First of all,
Yeah, here we go.
how amazing would it be? You have a German Shepherd.
Oh.
He has a beagle.
I have a
and
sex
you
robot.
You have a sex
That would
robot.
be so awesome.
And I have a dinosaur-faced chicken.
I guess that would be great.
Come on.
Clever girl. Would you call it clever girl all the time?
Yeah. How amazing would that be?
I guess. Hashtag
dinosaur-faced chicken.
Dinosaur. Yeah.
I think that's amazing. I've heard people
He's lost
say
for words.
no, because for years people are like, oh, we'll just do what they did in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Like just
that's what you're doing.
yeah,
Essentially.
but no, they'll find samples of DNA and reconstruct it. And
No.
apparently,
you know what? We'll take whatever we have now, and we'll redo that.
Because people said that that's impossible. They don't realize how impossible that science is. There's so much of the genetic code missing.
Yeah,
That's
they can't
amazing.
do that, but they think it's more possible. Like, hey, we all they share a common ancestor. Like, you're never gonna make a T-Rex, but maybe you can make a small
Chicken Rex.
Yeah, a small one. Or a small, feathered dinosaur by slowly reverse engineering them.
Oh, my Lord.
I know they were able to give some of them...
Tyrannosaurus turkey?
They were able to give some of them tails.
Yeah.
Like dinosaur tails.
Oh, my God.
By adding specific genes that they know...
If you look at the embryos, I do this with my class. If you look at embryos of pigs, lizards, turtles, chickens, and humans, they all look the same at 10 weeks.
Right.
You wouldn't be able to tell
Because
them
common
apart.
ancestors,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then we diverge off as genes become expressed.
Exactly, yeah.
Correct. So what they're saying is that they inhibit certain things.
Yeah.
Or force certain genes that aren't expressed to be expressed.
Right.
That's what they did. They were adding genes in little pearls. They were adding to the end of...
That's so cool, man.
Yeah, beads coated with substances to inhibit proteins.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
I want one.
We're becoming gods. We're becoming gods. We can mess with life so much.
Mess with genes, yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Interesting, man.
I would love to have little... no, you don't want any big ones running around.
No.
That's how you get Jurassic Park.
But you know someone's gonna do it. They're gonna start a dinosaur-faced chicken fight, underground chicken fights, and they're gonna breed them so that they get bigger.
Dinosaur-faced chicken farms. Come check it out.
Yeah.
Because somebody said, well, maybe that's the way to get to a mammoth, is to go backwards from an elephant.
Just take an elephant and make him huge.
Or start going back. Well, just try to make those moves back.
Yeah.
Because recreating from old genes doesn't seem to be something that's within our capacity to do.
Yeah.
At least now.
Well, I told you what happened with the many years ago. They 15 years ago, they tried to make a pig the size of a cow.
Right.
So they put the muscular genes of a cow into a pig, and it ended up they had a pig-sized torso but no limbs.
What?
The pig was born and it was gigantic.
Tons
it was
of bacon, but no hams.
Yeah, that's
No
exactly
hams.
that's exactly what happened. This pig was born, but
Right.
it was all deformed, but it was gigantic and really muscular. Wow. Yeah. Scientists are crazy.
That's
Beef flavored pork.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Crazy stuff.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Think about the giant pieces of cow bacon you could get.
Oh boy.
Cow pig bacon. I think that's called a pow. A pig cow.
We'll see.
I'm all for it. I love that they're doing this kind of stuff. I love that this is...
Because this will eventually lead to curing cancer or something.
Well, it'll... the more ability we have to mess with genes, the more ability we have to cure genetically...
If you... This is what I don't get about science. You can make...
The science part?
You can make a chicken with a dinosaur face. Uh-huh. Apparently, easily.
Right.
Well, they think it was kind of an accident. Now they,
No, that was what they were going for, though. They intended to make some type of dinosaur chicken hybrid.
They were trying to get it to not... or figure out what makes the beak express.
Yeah.
So when they suppressed
they
the
turned
genes
off
for a
genes.
beak,
Yeah.
it automatically went dinosaur face.
Oh.
I don't think they were planning... I think they were
okay.
we're going to have a lot of beakless chickens. And they were
Okay.
oh no, dinosaur face.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's different then.
Yeah.
That's different. But you would just think that, they can turn off cancer genes,
Right.
It seems to be much more complicated in people.
Yeah.
But they've done it, right? That's the idea behind CRISPR.
Yes.
I think they cured somebody of a lung disease in
Really?
China. I think he had some genetic lung condition, and by giving him gene therapy, they were able to cure it.
All right.
So
Sounds
I
cool.
think it's within... What do they say? The first person to live north of 200 years has been born already.
Really?
That's what they think.
Ain't me. It ain't you, apparently.
It's not me.
You're going in...
30 years.
30. Yeah.
Mike's an outlived chocolate. I know chocolate's going to outlive Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Chocolate's definitely gonna outlive me. It's gonna be the death of me too. But
I had a chicken with a dinosaur head, but no chocolate.
Oh, it's my worst nightmare.
No, yours is all your Funko's losing his head.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is my worst nightmare.
So on your same note, because last week we were talking about AIs taking over and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Rogan posted a picture of a robot that can do push-ups.
Ah, damn it.
But it sweats to cool itself down.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna read
It's
his.
not real sweat.
No,
It's coolant. Cars do this too.
Right.
Cars have like water-cooled engines and things like that to cool itself down. So
that's the robot.
It's
Steve.
not. Yeah, it's not uncommon for machines to cool themselves down.
no, but this one apparently
But look at it.
sweats into its joints.
Yeah.
right.
All right.
Yeah, to like cool the joints.
But when a car cools itself down, it's fine.
So here's his little paragraph that I wrote.
Now I listen to all his podcasts. He's super paranoid about technology all of a sudden.
Who, Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
We might be too, so let's find out. So
I'm all for our robot overlords. Bring them on.
he writes, "We're so fucked. I want you to think about this. It's fucking sweating to cool down. It might be doing shitty push-ups now, but in a year it'll be able to launch itself over a building with those push-ups like the Hulk. He'll be solar powered with a backup system that lets it run on human bodies."
It's a computer that it has a heat sensor in it. When the heat gets to a certain point, it releases a fluid to cool itself down. It's not making its own decision. It's set to do that. There's a code set to say, when you hit this degree, release this chemical.
We just had two AIs that were communicating with each other.
Yeah, but nonsense. They're communicating. I read up on that. Like,
Did you watch Age of Ultron?
Yes.
Yeah. So you know what, Mike?
Oh,
You
listen,
never know.
No, I have no fear of that happening. None. Because
They'll kill you in a heartbeat.
yeah, I'm okay.
Your dinosaur chicken head guy will protect you.
No, that's why I have them. Old beakless. But
It's like that episode of Simpsons where Homer has the lobster.
yes, Pinchy. This is beakless. My dinosaur chicken.
Oh, God.
But like, I don't think we're even close to really having real AI. Like, they're like, oh my God, we have computers that can beat people in chess.
Right.
But they can't play tic-tac-toe because they're so specialized at chess.
Right.
Like, this robot is so specialized at doing push-ups because that's what they designed it to do.
Right.
Like, tell it to do a pull-up and
Right.
they can't do it. We're very good at building very specialized machines. And what's that paradox? Like, why if AI is the natural progression of all modern societies, right, or technologically advanced societies, why haven't we been visited by AI? Because once you have AI, right, you can send it out and go,
Because
hey,
time travel's not possible.
no, not time travel. Other
Species.
intelligent species in the universe, right?
Because there are none. We're the only ones.
We'll just wait for them to kill each other.
But that's the idea is like if the move is to go to AI,
Yeah.
and you could send out robots, and robots don't need food, and they can self-replicate by mining. Like, why aren't they all over the universe? These smart machines, because all you need is one intelligent species to have come up with them, and then they would just go out and populate. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just had a great idea for a movie.
What?
I'm stealing two movies and mashing them together.
iRobot and...
I Am Legend.
Okay.
So
I thought he was going Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
instead of the zombies, you have
Robot-headed
the robots are the other zombies. You have Mike and his dinosaur chicken head.
Oh, he's the legend.
Yes, and instead of the dog, he's got the chicken.
Yeah.
And it's their survival. And
Oh, when they kill the chicken, beakless dinosaur face
Beakless.
chicken. They kill old beakless. It's gonna be so sad.
instead of trying to stop the AI, Mike's trying to genetically modify more chickens to fight the robots.
It's not a big
Bigger
movie.
chickens.
And look for chocolate. And hunt for chocolate.
Or genetically modify
Yes.
cats.
That's what happened. The robots got rid of all the chocolate, and Mike needs to.
I got real healthy because of that and survived.
Yeah, Mike's jacked. He looks like Chris Evans. He grew hair.
You got a big square chin.
Yeah, like the comic, but like what's his face? Like Tom Selleck, not Tom Selleck. Who'd I say?
His chin doesn't get square when you get healthier.
Well, if we're modifying things, who knows?
Like Tom Berenger. That's who you'd look like. We're gonna get Tom Berenger to play you, and I am robot.
Chicken.
I am robot chicken. I am
Robot chicken.
I am robot chicken. This is happening. This is happening, dude. Oh man.
So I'm gonna ask you guys a question. You want to just end it here? Or do you want to really get the wheels to fall off the wagon?
No, keep going.
No, I don't want any wheels.
Strap in. I'm
No
in.
wheels.
No wheels, man.
So a couple months ago,
Yeah.
I introduced everyone to the Tata towel.
You did.
So-
a long time ago.
yes.
Why don't you tell people what that was?
Tata towel is a towel that holds your boobies up.
It does. You put your tatas in there.
Yes.
You can get this on Amazon.
Yeah, we all laughed at it.
We
and then it
did.
became a big thing.
Because it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But now the next big thing is called crotch charms.
Tell me more.
So these are jewelry that you put in your bikini bottoms. So when you go to the beach, you have jewelry that hangs from your crotch.
Like outside my bathing suit?
Right.
But you have to wear like Speedo?
I don't think it's for you.
It's for women.
Oh. Okay.
So you take the little like necklace jewelry
Yeah,
thing,
and
you
you-
put it in the bottom of your bikini bottom, and
Yeah.
then you pull your bottoms up,
All right.
and these hang between your legs.
Bottoms up, bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. This is the new trend.
So like a tiny chandelier.
Yes,
Yeah. That's going to irritate the
I would imagine so.
labia, I would think. That's the female genitalia.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because there's going to have to be some type of metal piece inside.
It's all metal.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm saying there's gonna be metal rubbing up against your
So
your
did
junk.
someone take like a bracelet and just
Yeah.
Yes.
stick it in
Yep.
there?
And they're like, "This looks
bathing suit,
nice."
And they're like, look at this.
Yep.
I could see that becoming a thing though.
$20 to $22 a piece.
Yeah, I could see that becoming a thing for a couple of years.
Unbelievable.
Could you?
Yeah, that's stupid enough.
You're gonna go to the-
Millennials are stupid enough to buy that shit.
Gonna go to the beach, see people in Tata towels and crotch charms, and you're gonna go, you know what? Joe told me about this.
Is the company marketing them really calling them crotch charms?
Crotch charms.
That's the best name they can come up with?
Have you ever heard of the boyfriend pillow?
What?
No.
You know the body pillow, right?
Yes.
Right.
That's the long, thin pillow that you kind of wrap your body around. Like you put it between your legs and you kind of sleep with it, right? My wife had a body pillow when she was pregnant to kind of relieve the pressure of the belly, and she put her leg around it, over it. Well, Marie actually told me about the boyfriend pillow, which is the same concept, but on the top half of the pillow, there's like a half a torso and an arm.
No.
And it like if you like to like you can cuddle with the torso, like
So
if
you
your
can-
husband goes on vacation or
So the pillow's the big spoon and you're the little spoon?
yeah, like if you were laying on your back and your wife kind of just
Yeah,
came
I know.
under one of your arms.
No, I know. That's the way
and
my
fell-
wife
That's
likes to
freaky.
sleep that way.
Yeah, and she falls asleep on your chest.
It's awful.
Yeah, because you can't sleep on your back. No one likes to sleep on their back.
No, it's not even that. Like that arm,
Oh yeah, yeah.
after 20 minutes,
Oh yeah, it's asleep.
is useless.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you don't have the coordination to like gently drag it out because it's half dead. So
Right.
you just kind of flop it
To
out.
ripcord it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like starting a lawnmower.
That's exactly what it is.
Your arm comes out, your wife goes rolling off the other side of the bed.
Start her out of the bed.
But there's a pillow called the boyfriend pillow.
That's freaky.
It actually has like a shirt, like the torso has like a
No.
shirt. Yeah, yeah, and you can snuggle with it, I guess.
Is that for people whose husbands go away or just for lonely people?
Both?
Oh.
Yeah, I guess for both. Why not?
Do you know
Imagine
my-
waking up in the middle of the night and turning around just seeing that face.
The headless body pillow.
Do you know how many times I probably punched that thing? Ah!
Do you know how crazy that is? You know, like the one or two times I get away for like a conference or whatever during the year, how much I enjoy just like sprawling out in a bed all by myself. Like that's amazing.
Yeah.
I miss that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people need it, I guess. Then she showed me something called, I forget the real name of it, but I have a better name for it.
Uh-oh.
It's a cup that you use, it's like a portable urinal for kids. So like when they're out and they have to go pee-pee or potty or whatever you call it, and there's no potty around, you can go in this, it looks like a little urinal cup that the kid pees in, right?
Uh-huh.
And you can buy this on Amazon. And I forget the name of it. It was,
And then what do you do with the giant cup of piss?
I guess you have to wait till you get home and like Nicole actually bought a portable potty.
Give it to the cop so we could drink it.
And when Christian started to
Jesus.
yeah, what was that
Jesus.
about?
You ever seen Dumb and Dumber?
No, I don't remember that
When they
scene.
piss in the beer bottle?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Nicole
It's not
actually
funny. We have to explain it to you guys.
Nicole actually bought a portable potty.
Right.
So that Christian can like poop in the trunk. It was a little it was like a little seat.
So we can poop in the trunk.
It was a little seat with a bag that attached under it. And it was a toilet seat with a bag that attached to it, and you poop into the bag. So like if we were on long drives somewhere, like we went down to Lancaster and there was a couple hour drive, he had to poop or pee or something.
Just get in the trunk.
Well, we would pull over and
Dad,
then
I gotta poop. Get in the trunk.
Well,
I'm not stopping.
we'd pull over. Obviously, he was too little, but This thing was called like the portable.
It was too little then.
The portable urinal or something like that. And I was like, why isn't this called the pissy cup instead of like a sippy cup? It should just be called the pissy cup because it looked like a sippy cup, but just like you put your wee in it.
That's exactly what you don't want it to look like. Is a sippy cup.
Right, but it did. It did. You don't want to get it confused.
Apple juice or piss?
Yeah, take a sip, find out. Anyway,
talk about Wheel of Death.
Yikes.
So the last article I have is a reach.
Yeah.
But it really bothered me. In Southeast Asia, men are whitening their penises.
Okay.
Yeah.
Southeast
So you heard
Asia.
of like anal bleaching?
I've heard of anal bleaching.
This is kind of something
This is penal
similar.
bleaching.
Yeah.
Penile bleaching.
But it's not with bleach.
No,
it's with lasers.
I saw this, yeah.
Ooh, evil.
The lasers of Death Star.
Oh, man.
Imagine that?
No. This is ridiculous. They have this technology in Southeast Asia?
Sure.
All right.
Why wouldn't they?
I don't know.
I'm reasonably certain we could Google up and we could have this technology.
Yeah, I'm sure people here are whitening their penises.
No, I mean literally the three of us could. I can't imagine this is too hard to do.
You got a laser pointer?
Yeah. And a magnifying glass. And Joe, it's a penis. Let's go to work.
No. We'll just use a monocle.
Yeah, we use a monocle. But Joe's penis is probably really white. Look at him. Look how white he is.
It doesn't need whitening.
Yeah, his penis is fine.
I don't particularly understand.
Why do you want to shoot lasers at your dick? Why do you want to do
Old
that?
laser dick over
Old
there.
laser dick. Oh, man. That is
Do you
not a
think
good
it
idea.
smokes?
That's not a good idea, man.
You gotta cool it down.
Oh, man.
Actually, it does.
There's one doctor there, laser, another one with buckets of water, just throwing it on.
Oh, my God.
But the fucked up part is, after a while, it goes back to its normal color. So you got to go back for multiple visits.
Well, yeah, you don't want like the doctor like etching his name into it. It's the underside. I'll never see it.
Mark was here.
Well, you know what would happen if that was an American thing? People would be putting, like, names in it, like they do with their hair.
I guarantee you this is going to become a trend among celebrities.
Yeah.
Just like P-Dazzle and V-Jazzle and anal bleaching and all that stuff. Someone's going to do this.
Yeah, dude, I'm surprised we're not already.
Can't you, like I saw the Impractical Jokers do an episode where they bought an anal bleaching kit like at a store.
Yeah. Yeah, where else would you buy them?
But I thought that was something you'd want like a medical professional to do.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like cosmetic, kind of like make an appointment.
Yeah.
I need my anal bleached, my anus bleached.
You don't go to like, I picked it up at Dollar Tree. Come here. So,
I got this bottle of Clorox.
Yeah.
how long till they're like,
No, that's probably done at like a waxing place, no?
I have no idea.
I never tried it.
Yeah.
But how long until they're like,
Get a
you
Brazil
need-
wax
you
and an anal bleaching.
You're like, you want to do it in a privacy home? You need 4D batteries and a magnifying glass. Jeez, I don't feel great about that.
No, I read that and I was like, this can't be. Like, what's the rationale behind it?
You don't want your penis so dark. I guess that's,
only white meat.
I don't know if that scares people away, but what about the rest of you? Like what countries are in Southeast Asia? I'm thinking like the Philippines, Taiwan. Am I wrong?
This was in Bangkok.
Of course there was.
You serious?
Yes, I made a note. Hospital in Bangkok.
Am I wrong in saying those countries? Like they're
okay.
pretty dark-skinned Asians, right? Mm-hmm. So wouldn't it like? I'm assuming their penises would be the same color as the rest of
Not
them.
anymore.
But that's what I'm saying. Why would you want like a white penis on a dark body, on a darker skin tone body?
I don't. That's what I don't understand.
Does it attract the women?
It's not like you just walk around with it dangling.
Makes
Maybe
it look
you do.
bigger.
Maybe you do. Instead of if you can't afford the chandeliers hanging off your bikinis, you just bleach it.
That's what you need. That's a 2-step process. First, penal lasering, then chandelier crotch.
This episode is off the rails. Oh, you got any more news,
That's
Joe?
it. That's all I got.
All right.
Going out with the bang.
How do you follow up penis lasers?
We're to lead into Tony Wolf.
Take it away, Tony. Pew pew.
Now it's time for everyone's favorite segment. How are you wasting time? Or how are you pissing off your wife?
All right, Joe. You have any wasting time for us?
I do. I watched.
That doesn't sound very confident, Joe.
I wrote it down and I saved it for a couple weeks, and I just gotta find it.
Mike, you have any wasting time?
I'm interested to see what Joe did that was so fascinating. He wrote down and then forgot about.
It was like 5 episodes ago. I watched the Golden Girls finale.
That's a really sad when they sell the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really sad.
But did you know there was another show after that? With Rose, Sophia, and Blanche?
What happened to Dorothy?
She moved on with her with Naked Gun.
Oh, Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Not Liam Neeson. No, Neeson. His last
Leslie.
name's Leslie. There you go. I know I had half of it right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so they didn't sell the house.
No, they sell the house
okay, they did,
and they move someplace else.
Yeah.
There was a
And-
Golden Girls spin-off?
Yes, it was called Golden Palace, and it was the three girls, and it started Don Cheadle and Cheech Marin.
Don Cheadle was in it?
Yep.
Wow.
Cheech Marin?
Yep. It was only on for one season.
Yeah, I can't see that going too far. No one wants to see that without Dorothy. Dorothy
It wasn't.
great.
It wasn't. They said it wasn't the same.
No.
I tried looking for it, like to see if I could find it.
B. Arthur's the best.
But that season finale was sad.
Yeah, it was very sad. A lot of season finales are sad. Even MASH was, oh my god, you want to kill yourself. Terrible. But that's how you wasted time?
Yeah, and I watched. I have a new guilty pleasure.
Okay.
Floribama Shore.
I turned this on for a second.
Did you turn it off?
I turned it off, yeah.
I watched it. I'm hooked.
I saw a bunch of little
It's
booty shorts, and then I turned it off.
Jersey Shore, but in
Floribama Shore?
Like the Florida-Alabama border.
Yeah, Mike looks mortified.
What channel is that on?
MTV.
Oh, that's why I don't even know where MTV is on my TV.
How do you think I keep up to this date with Tata towels and crotch charms and penis whitening, sex robots?
Yeah, Joe's all, you think I'm the pervert? Look at this guy. Oh my god.
I'm keeping up with the youth of America.
Floribama what? I gotta hashtag this.
Floribama Shore.
Sure, okay.
Floribama Shore.
Yeah, they probably have some type of
And is
lake.
it like a knockoff of the Jersey Shore?
Yes, but with southern
with
kids.
hillbillies.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not really hillbillies.
Mountain
Some of them
folk.
are. Yeah, some of them are
They
hillbillies.
prefer the term mountain folk. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they got the accents going. Yeah.
I'm hooked.
And is it like the Jersey Shore was a lot of like fist bumping? Is this a lot of like chew and straw hats?
No, they look like they don't fit in. Like when you think of people from Florida and Alabama, you don't think of these guys until they start talking. You would think like what you just said, straw hats and plaid.
Well, golly.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
yeah.
That's they look like they could be on the Jersey Shore, but they
It's
talk
more
like
of
hillbillies.
I'd say more like a real world feel to it. Like they're
Yeah.
they're a bunch of like girls and guys
living in a house.
living in a house.
I have zero desire to see that.
I was bored one day. Like there was a marathon on. I watched the first 3 episodes, and now
Oh, wow, I've never been that
He
bored.
finished researching dick bleaching.
Yes, I'm all in.
That's it.
That's all I got.
Floribama Shore.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Floribama.
Floribama.
Yeah, get it right. Yeah, they must have like some.
Oh, so on the Gulf.
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe. Unless they have like a lake.
I'm fascinated. That's a thing. That's a thing.
Go home, put it on your DVR. You'll enjoy it.
There's lots of booty shorts. Lots of little tiny booty shorts. That's not bad. But then I got tired of it. I turned it off. What do you do?
As you do, Steve.
As you do. As you do.
So
Yeah.
after our last episode where I tried to convince you of the merits of the last Star Wars movie, correct?
Yes.
So I was late to the party seeing Last Jedi, and I went out this week with my brother. Went out to dinner.
Yeah.
And he's like, "So I heard you saw the movie. Did you like it?" And I was like, "Yes, I did."
You should have been like, why didn't you listen to the podcast? You'll find out.
I was like, I liked it very much. And he was like, "Did you now?" And now my brother is a giant Star Wars fan. And he proceeded over the next 20 minutes to dismantle that movie. And I started like you. I'm like, I'm going to tell you why I liked it. And I got like 2 words in, and I'm like, oh, I'm in over my head. He started out such a simple, logical argument. He said, hey, so when a spaceship runs out of gas, what do they do? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, do they stop? And I was like, no, they don't.
Can they go to light speed if they have no gas?
He's like, objects in space, because there's no gravity or atmosphere, keep going at the same speed.
Yes.
He like, I believe one of them ran out of gas and fell out of space. And I was like, yeah, it did. And like he dismantled that movie.
The physics of it is
horrendous.
Whatever. Like I can look past
that. Like when he said that to me, I'm like, that's really bad.
But that ruined the movie for you?
But like the whole point of like we're gonna catch someone that ran out of gas, like that was a stretch anyway.
Yeah.
But then when you think like if you throw something out into space, it goes forever.
All right, now here's I was not particularly fond of this movie.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna attempt to stick up for the movie here.
Okay.
They weren't the gas wasn't a running away issue. The gas was a shields issue because the shields were gonna go down in 6 hours.
No, but that one ship.
Yeah.
Like there was a that was in their little convoy.
Right.
When it ran out of gas, it like lilted to the side and spun off like it had fallen out of the sky.
Yes. The medical one.
Yeah,
the
and then they
medical
blew it
bag.
up.
Yeah.
Then he went on and he's like, so why is Rose in the movie?
Go ahead, stand up and say it. My name is Rose and I'm an idiot.
And Finn. And why is Ray? I'm like, well, diversity and inclusion. He's like, because Star Wars had a problem with that. I'm like, well, society. And he's like, really? He's like, tell me. He's like, Princess Leia, right? Main character of the movie in the 70s. I'm like, yes, she was. He's like, when did she need rescuing? And I'm like, well, in the first movie, he's like, really? He's like, they got her out of the cage. He's like, but who shot all the stormtroopers and then shot her way down the garbage chute and dove down the garbage chute? I was like, Princess Leia. He's like, who killed Jabba the Hutt? It's like, Princess Leia. He's like, who went from prisoner to head of the rebellion? And I'm like, Princess Leia. He's like, and what, wasn't there a minority character that owned an entire city in the second movie? I'm like, yeah, that'd be Lando Calrissian. And like, he just dismantled this movie on me.
You want to re-rate it?
Like, it was bad. I couldn't believe how thoroughly, like, when you get a real Star Wars fan, and he didn't do like he's like, I don't care that, like, Luke, he's like, I can go with the justification that Luke kind of lost faith in his religion. Mm-hmm. But he had so many other issues with, like, it fundamentally not being a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Because it went away from the themes of Star Wars, that, like, good and evil, and, like, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, he should have a podcast.
He should have been our guest.
We should have had him on. We should have had him on that night.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Maybe.
Yeah,
next Star Wars movie. He hasn't liked either one.
I like Force Awakens.
This one, oh my God, did he rip it apart.
Wow.
Just
TFP?
dismantled it.
Yeah.
Huh?
TFA.
What's TFA?
That's why I didn't know what it was when somebody tweeted it to me. I'm like, what the hell's TFA? And Joe's like, that's the Force Awakens.
Oh, I wouldn't have known that either.
Yeah, it's all right. Then you said Transformers again.
I think when I kind of looked at some of his criticisms, I would rank it lower.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not one for that, but he had such a, like, compelling, constant barrage against this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even argue. I was like,
And it's your brother, so you respect his opinion.
I do, and especially about, like, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that's how you wasted time?
Yeah.
All right. So
Getting my hopes and dreams of a movie dashed.
Well, my father took me aside the other day. Real secretive, like. And he goes, Steve, come here.
Got any more of that toilet paper?
He goes, Can you get me more of that Charmin?
No.
I swear to God, you nailed it on the head.
I was just kidding.
Yeah. Many months ago, my father was at the house and my dad was complaining about the Scott paper towel that chafes him a little bit. So I was like, why don't you just get Charmin? I don't know how you guys don't use Charmin. And he goes, your mother won't buy it for me. So I go home and I go on Amazon. I find a 48 count of Charmin Extra Soft for like $20, and I got it shipped to his house. He didn't even know. So then he calls me up one day. He goes, did you order me Charmin? I'm like, yeah. He goes, thank you. And I was like, yeah, no problem. So he must have went through 48 rolls. And he secretly brought me over because he knows Mom ain't going to order it for him. Mom's sticking to Scott's.
We don't have a coupon for that.
And I was like, yeah, Dad, I'll hook you up. I know where to go. And then he calls me like
He's a toilet paper guy.
And then like 3 days later.
I got a guy.
3 days later, he calls me up. And he's like, hey, Steve. I was like, yeah. He goes, you ever order that toilet paper? Because it didn't get here yet. And I'm like, yeah, I ordered it. It'll be there soon.
I've been sitting on the ball since our last conversation. I called you 3 days ago. What happened to Prime?
Someone knocks on the door. He's like a dog. Who is it? Is this my toilet paper?
Is it Amazon? Yeah, so that was
my
one
legs
thing.
are so asleep.
The mailman doesn't have any boxes with him today. Come on.
That put a smile on my face.
You should just set him up for what do you call it? Put it on your Amazon once every 6 months.
I don't know how often he needs 48 rolls though.
Once every 6 months.
Yeah, I guess.
He's gonna have a stockpile.
I have a feeling he's been real diligently kind of,
Yeah.
1 cube.
Yeah.
Also depends on the day.
He's rationing the Charmin.
Yeah. Not if one's coming every 6 months, he can live large.
Right. And he can time it.
He's been squirreling them away.
Well, you might have realized that I sound a little different this week. I have walking pneumonia. Now I know Mike is gonna take some jabs at me for having walking pneumonia like he did.
No, I don't. You're an old
week.
man. It is what it is.
I had to miss the Killers concert last night. I had tickets to go see the Killers at the Barclays
Noise was
Center.
too loud.
No, because I didn't want to go out with walking pneumonia, Mike, and make it worse. Because if it's not walking pneumonia, it's just pure regular pneumonia. and then you go in the hospital, and I don't want that. So I went to...
Why? All your friends will be there.
All the old people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rose and Dorothy and Sophia. So I go to work on Monday. I'm coughing up a lung. And I had a department meeting in the middle of the day, and then I had a free period after that.
And in between that, he went to go buy markers and movie tickets and a microphone and Funkos.
So
That's how he got pneumonia. All that back and forth from inside and out of the building.
You're probably not wrong, because I had to run in the cold because it was like 18 degrees that day, not even. But so I went to my department chair. I was like, listen, I feel really crappy. Can I miss the department meeting and just go to urgent care? Because I just thought I had a bad sinus infection. I get like that all the time. I go to urgent care, got right in. She's like, you have walking pneumonia. She's like, I would go home now if I were you. I was like, okay. And she put me on some hardcore antibiotics.
Do you want us to call your grandson to come get you?
So that's why I sound like this. But I'm very upset I had to miss the Killers concert. I have 3 bands that I want to see before they stop playing.
Not just before he dies.
Actually, yeah, 3 bands. I want to see the Killers, I want to see Muse, and I want to see Shinedown. And this was my chance to see the Killers. And like 4 years ago, I had bought Killers tickets, and he got laryngitis, the singer, and canceled. So I didn't get to see him then. So it's like fate doesn't want me to see the Killers.
How do you think you got pneumonia?
All right, this is what happened. I was sick the week before I went on that school trip. I had just a nasal thing. I go on the school trip for 4 days in a very dry old house with fungus all over the place, so you can smell the mold in this old retreat house. We come home, and my father-in-law passed away, so that whole week after that, I couldn't get to the doctor because I had wakes and funerals and services to go to, and I got worse. And then the next week was Christmas, and we were traveling back and forth to people's houses and for parties and things like that, so I didn't get to go to the doctors. Then I kind of felt a little bit better, and then it got really bad. So it's just because I didn't take care of myself. That's all. It probably didn't start as pneumonia. It started as something probably very minimal, and then just turned into pneumonia because I didn't take care of it. But very upset about missing the Killers.
Old man Steve's back.
Old man Steve's back.
Walking pneumonia.
Walking pneumonia. I couldn't believe it. Now, I felt like this in the past.
It's better than running pneumonia,
I guess. And I was like, I might have had walking pneumonia.
His ribs are very delicate from all the coughing.
I might have had walking pneumonia like once before in my life, because I felt like this before. I like once a year I get this bad, and I go to the doctor and they give me like 10 days of penicillin. So really? I'm wondering if I've had pneumonia in the past, because I was a very heavy smoker, and I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I haven't had a cigarette in 4 years, but I smoked for like 15 years before that, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but could be.
Wow.
Yeah, want me to keep going?
Mike knows the gene guy. We can give you old dinosaur lungs.
Dinosaur lungs. I found out that Ghost in the Shell has a cartoon on the Cartoon Network.
Really?
Yeah.
You're too old for cartoons.
Yeah,
you
right?
have pneumonia.
So I DVR'd it. I taped it. I DVR'd it, and it's not good. It's not a good cartoon.
You peeked at the actual original anime, huh?
No, the original anime is great. I love the original anime, and I listened to it in Japanese because the English voiceovers were terrible. I had to do it with the subtitles. But this cartoon, it's just not good. It's not a good cartoon. I stopped taping it. It's so information heavy, and most of the information
is in words.
No, it doesn't matter. Oh. Like they'll be like, oh, they'll be looking for a suspect in a crime. They'll be like, oh, he's cooped up in this hotel, and they'll give you like the backstory of the hotel, like all this information about the hotel, when it was established, who ran it, who sold it to who, and now it belongs to this guy. It has nothing to do with the story.
Huh.
And it's just information. And I'm like, it just wasn't good. Then did you ever hear of One Punch Man?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch it?
No.
I decided to watch it the other day. Boy, are Japanese people crazy with this freaking cartoons, man. Holy cow. They are insane. The idea is kind of cool, but the cartoon's actually insane. It's insane. It's a kid who trains so hard to be a superhero that he can kill any of his adversaries with one punch.
Huh.
And he's upset because there isn't a challenge for him. So he wants to find an adversary that will take more than one punch. And that's like the whole series. But like the people he fights are like men. Like there's the first episode. I haven't gotten past the first episode. The first guy he fights is a guy who ate too much crab, so his head and arms turn into crab parts, and he has to fight the crab man. It was so strange. So strange.
You sure that wasn't your medicine kicking in?
It wasn't my medicine kicking in. I swear.
TV wasn't even on. Look at the crab, man.
Hey, honey, look what I'm watching. You're in the closet, Steve. You're staring at the boiler. It's such a great cartoon.
It's a crab, man. One punch. That's all it takes. You know, I'm famous for my customer service rants, right?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Well, I have a very good customer service
The lady at
story.
The lady
Urgent Care saved your life.
The lady at Life Alert was very nice.
Life Alert.
They fit him with a bracelet so quick.
No.
Go ahead.
No, it was the guy.
Your ambulance driver was nice.
The guy at Hockey Monkey was great.
What?
What?
Hockey Monkey. It's a store. It's a retail store. They sell hockey equipment. And in the springtime, they sell lacrosse equipment. It's a store. It's called Hockey Monkey. If you go online, they have Hockey Monkey. So I have a hockey mask. I'm a goalie. I have a hockey mask. And it's what I noticed my last game was it has little black dots all over the inside of it.
That's
and I'm
mold.
Like, that's mold. I probably shouldn't be putting this on my face. That's probably why I have pneumonia. Right? That's probably what gave me the initial issue. So I was scouring the internet for hockey masks or whatever. And I go to Hockey Monkey, and the guy was extremely helpful. And you know me, I'm like, hey, can you match the online price? And he's like, yeah, I can match the online price, but I don't have it in stock, but I'll order it for you. And he got it sent to my house. I just want to say that not all my customer service interactions are negative ones. This one was a very good one. This guy was very good. I could have went home and used my coupon that he wouldn't let me use and got a little bit more off, but I was like, you know what? This guy helped me out. He took some time to help me out, so I'm going to give him my business.
Do you know I've never used a coupon?
Well, that's stupid.
Why?
Yeah, that's
because
dumb.
I won't clip a coupon.
Well, you don't have to clip coupons anymore. They're on your phone
Yeah,
now.
get them on your phone.
I won't
email.
even do. I cannot.
Nah, that's silly.
Be bothered.
That's silly.
No.
I can't be bothered.
That's silly.
So,
Yeah.
you know what coupon we do have?
What coupon do we have? Well, that's what we got.
We get there?
Yeah, we get there.
Okay.
We have a time
No,
for that.
I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
If I can't afford it, I won't buy it.
It's not about affording
It's
it.
not about affording. It's about saving pennies where you can save pennies. And not,
Pennies, exactly.
And not
Pennies.
sometimes it's $50. In this case, it was 15% off of a $300 helmet. That's a pretty
Yeah,
penny.
I've gotten stuff half off, 75% off, and I go and buy something else with the money I save.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I can't. I honestly can't be bothered. I don't look.
Wow.
I can't be bothered. I can't.
I bet you Monica does.
Yeah, and it makes me crazy.
Well, that's just silly.
It makes me crazy. I don't. Time is so valuable to me. I can't be bothered. Like
It's not like you have to scour the internet for these things.
Yeah, like as you're in the store looking for something, you could be finding the coupon.
yeah,
Or while you're online paying for it. No. I unfollowed 1,000 people on Twitter today.
Wow.
Yeah. We now have...
why are we following 1,000 people on Twitter?
We were actually following 3,800 people.
Why?
But when we first started out over a year ago, you put your name out there, you try to follow people and try to get people to follow you back, and that's the way I went about it.
So give Twitter a diet.
No, so I was going through tweets and stuff, and I was clicking on people, and I'm like, this person doesn't follow me. Why am I looking at his stuff?
Right.
So then I was like, let me go through all of our followers and see whoever we follow. Let's see if they follow us back or
Right.
whatever else. And if they don't, they're out. So I did a little hunting last night, and I didn't get through all the followers, but I got us down to like 2,800 from 3,800. And there were a handful that were just like, some like sex thing or
Right.
something stupid. But the majority of them were like podcasts that didn't follow us back that we followed. But so now we have more followers than we follow, which is a good thing.
That's good.
That's a good thing. My last wasting time is my new favorite show, or my favorite show of the winter time. And it's called Nightfall. Did you ever see it? Or hear of it?
No.
No.
You heard of Vikings?
Yes.
You heard of Vikings on the History Channel? That's supposed to be a great show. Never.
It's on Amazon Prime.
What is?
Vikings.
I think it's on Netflix too.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. But it's a History Channel original show, Vikings. And Nightfall is following that up. It has nothing to do with the Viking show. It's a completely separate show, but
Right.
it's in the same vein as Vikings. It's about the Templar Knights.
Okay.
It was actually on tonight. So what's tonight? Wednesday? It's on Wednesday nights at like 9 o'clock. Really, really good show. Very cool show. If you like that kind of era, that's my favorite time period. Like, 1400s, 1200s, Europe. And it's, the Templar Knights.
When he was a kid.
Searching for the Holy Grail.
The good old days.
Yeah. No, it's really, really good. They got really good characters, lots of twists and turns, never really... nothing very obvious happens that you think's going to happen.
Right.
They have a lot of... I think they're trying to take a lot from Game of Thrones. Like, they have a Game of Thrones, like a Baelish character in it, who's a little sneaky worm kind of guy. Then they have, like the handsome knight, kind of like... what's his name?
Jamie.
You know, so I'm not saying it's as good as Game of Thrones,
right?
And I'm not saying it's like Game of Thrones, but there are some aspects that you can see that were influenced. But it's a very, very good show. So if you're into that era, and if you like Vikings, I'm kind of sure you would like this too, because it's pretty cool. So that's how I wasted time. So now on to the main topic, which is brought to you by bagadicks.com, our sponsor, bagadicks.com. If you go to bagadicks.com, you can buy a whole bunch of different items, like Bag of Dicks. You can buy Singing Bag of Dicks. You can send a bag of dicks to your friend with a singing telegram. You can send a bag of dicks called the Evil Bag of Dicks to your friends with a singing telegram that never stops playing for about 2 hours.
I want to send that to somebody.
So bad. And if you use the code DINNERPOD at checkout or in the promotional box, you'll receive 10% off your purchase at bagofdicks.com. So go there and get your bag of dicks, which are little candy dicks. They're really cool. So if you have a bachelor party, bachelorette party, if you just want to call your friend a dick, send them a bag
Tell
of
them,
dicks.
call them up and tell them you heard from us. You want whitened ones.
Yeah, they got to start making white dicks now.
Just all white. They're another color, and you suck off the color, and then they're all white.
Oh, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at suck off the color, Mike.
Yeah.
All right, so tonight we are talking about our favorite stand-up comedy specials. It was specials, right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How many were we supposed to pick? 5?
I guess 5 is a good way to start.
All right, because I have a lot of honorable mentions.
Okay.
So who wants to start? Mike, you want to go first?
Like I said, I have a lot of trouble figuring out what order these should be in.
You don't have to give them an order. You can just say these are my top 5 favorites.
So I'm going to put a real unconventional one. I'm going to put Colin Quinn, A Long Story Short.
Okay.
I like Colin Quinn a lot.
Have you seen those? He does. There's one, Long Story Short, is about the history of the world, and the other one is about the history of New York City.
Never seen them.
And their shows, they're like Broadway-style one-man plays that he does.
Mm-hmm.
When him and Seinfeld wrote them, and Seinfeld produces them for him. And he does them as one-man shows on Broadway, and then at the end he puts them up as an HBO special.
Right.
So the first one was Long Story Short, and it's a history of just basically the history of the world, and a real brief overview of like how we went from not having nations to having nations. So he follows from like Greece to Rome to nation states to the wars we had, and it's this real like comical look at history. And it's a very scripted show where he kind of moves to a very well formatted, well laid out plan, like almost he has a comic thesis about history and explains it throughout history. It's really good. It's not that old. He's working on another one now, where I heard you can go see him like working it out, where he's working on all the famous people in history, all the famous men in history are all real assholes. And that's his premise, and he's working like, Mozart and Aristotle and Isaac Newton are all assholes, and he's working on that now.
I never knew he was a stand-up comedian until Opie and Anthony.
Who, Colin Quinn?
Yeah.
He's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant stand-up.
I started listening to Opie and Anthony, I don't know, 10 years ago, right? Something like that.
Right.
When they came to New York, or when they came back from Boston, I guess.
Right.
And, they're really good friends with Colin Quinn.
Yeah, they were, yeah.
And that's how I found out that he was stand-up.
He's a comedian's comedian.
I just knew him from Saturday Night Live.
Comedians love him.
Well, I thought most of the SNL guys were stand-up.
Most of them come from stand-up, yeah. I would have put Colin Quinn's New York one on.
Right.
I think it's called The New York Story or whatever. But it is so New York-centric, unless you're from New York. I think it's a little lost on you. Okay. It's about the history of New York and how all these different races of people come together, and how he points out like all the typical aspects of a New Yorker and where they come from each different race. Like why we're hardworking, that comes from the Germans. Why we're hot-tempered, that comes from the Italians. And he works his way through them. They're both really good specials. They're both on were both on HBO. But I'd listen to the first one first.
Cool.
Long Story Short.
Nice. Joe, you got one?
Well, I'm gonna go on your vein with the history story. Eddie Izzard, Dressed to Kill.
I had that on my list, so that makes that one easy.
You ever see that, Steve?
Never seen that.
Oh man, it's funny. It basically kind of goes through like a history of Europe.
Yeah.
He tells like about Hitler and World War II and all that stuff, and he comes to a point where he's talking about English Parliament and how we got a queen, and he's got a bit where it's called Tea and Cake or Death. Like imagine if you wanted a bill to pass, and your only two options were cake or death. So, what do you want? Cake or death? I'll take cake. Here's a piece of cake for you.
I've heard that.
Cake or death?
Yeah.
It's a great special. Every time it's on, I'll watch it.
You know what the thing with Eddie Izzard is? He's a really kind of unconventional comic because he dresses in drag, which is odd. But the message of his comedy, it's so smart. Like, he's clearly a bright man.
You watch this, you forget halfway, that he's even in drag.
You completely lose that immediately. Yeah.
Nice.
Do you know he now does stand-up because he was so... In his mind, he's like, I've gotten this thing down in English. He learned French and German in order to do shows in French and German.
Wow.
Do you know how hard that is? Because...
I barely know English.
But to have such a control of the language that you can play with words to make jokes, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of jokes play on how a word's used, or its context, or its history, or its what it means in society. Like, that is amazing. Eddie Izzard's a unique guy. He's a really, really bright guy. I heard he wants to go into politics. That's his long-term goal.
Really?
Yeah, British. He wants to get in British Parliament or mayor of London.
Cake or death?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great special. It's a really good choice. He's a really interesting comic.
My list is... It's weird because if you look at it, half of it is from 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
And the other half is from like 10, 15 years ago. And there's really nothing in between it or nothing really, really current.
Right.
A lot of these I haven't seen in a while. So my top 5 that I chose are just ones that I will never forget watching over and over and over again as I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't remember a lot of jokes in it like you just remember that whole skit.
Right.
So some of these I don't know skits from, but I remember I watched them over and over till the tapes broke when I was a kid. And I would bring people over and I'm like, guys, you got to watch this comedy special. It's hilarious. And I think one of them, I actually brought you over and made you watch it in my room with me once. My number 5...
It's a different kind of skit.
Yeah. My number 5 is going to be Bill Cosby himself.
Yep.
Now, I don't care what you think about Bill Cosby. This is one of the best...
I actually think it's the greatest stand-up special ever.
Ever. It is so...
But I couldn't put it on my list.
Why?
It's so tainted. It's so tainted.
Yeah, I'm
it
not...
It really is. I mean, I get that the work should stand by itself, but it is really hard to look at him and not be like, oh.
You try to find it, you can't find it anymore.
I found it's on YouTube.
I googled the other day. I couldn't.
Oh, really?
Couldn't come across.
I'm sure
it.
it's not on like HBO or Netflix or Bill Cosby himself is a brilliant.
Yeah, it's one of my. It's in my top 5.
It was. I remember it was on HBO when I was probably 13, 14.
Have you rewatched it as an adult?
As an adult, I haven't rewatched it.
You should rewatch it as someone who has children.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Because
I remember
brought
all
you
the
into
kid
this
jokes.
world, and I'll take you out.
There's so many, like when he does that bit about putting the kids to take baths.
Yes.
Like as an adult who has to bathe children, like watch that now.
Yeah.
And you'll just like it resonates so much more. Or like when his wife takes the day off and he's in charge of feeding the kids.
Right.
And the dad gave us chocolate cake. It has milk and eggs in it. Like that's the kind of stuff that I do.
Right.
And like and I thought that stuff was hysterical when I was 13.
Right.
But
and that's what I was talking about at the beginning of the show, where it's topical humor that deals with everyday life.
There's almost nothing of the time in that.
No.
It's just about men and women and children and their parents, and it's a brilliant special.
All right, that's my number 5.
And that's one of my favorite lines ever in that because of the way I was raised. For the first 13 years of my life, I thought my name was Jesus Christ. And his brother's, God damn it. No, Dad, I'm Jesus Christ. It's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Because Bill Cosby, it's like the quintessential special.
Yeah.
And it's clean.
Yeah.
And he does the bit about being at the dentist in that one.
Yes.
It is really,
I think my brother had it on record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen it, I don't know how many times. And every time you laugh.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I could. I haven't seen it since all this came out. I think it'd be a tough watch now.
What's your number 4?
Let's go with Lewis Black. Black on Broadway.
Very, very funny skit special.
That is...
Good pick.
That one kind of got... It's like 2003, 2004. That one got me kind of... Like, I knew I watched comedy with my father. Like, Bill Cosby himself. And that's where I saw that early stuff. Like, he was a big comedy fan. He got me into comedy. And then my father passed away. I whatever I started doing. But that comedy special got me back into liking comedy.
Yeah.
and back into liking stand-up especially. And I thought it was such a good one. He is such a unique comedian because he has that. He's so animated and he's intense. Yeah. And it's the duality of like he's such a wild man on stage, but he's always in a suit.
Yeah.
Or well dressed. Like
Right.
that one, I think he wears a black leather jacket and he's all in black. But it's such a good one. That is such a good special.
Was he at all political in that one? Because he
a little bit.
has a tendency to get
My
political.
favorite bit in that one is about the bottled water, where we wanted to be more like our ancestors. We wanted to seek out water. It's like when I was a kid, you can get it in 9 different places in the house. It's a very good, very well written. Again, he's a comedian's comedian. Comedians all love him.
Right.
Yeah. Lewis Black on Broadway.
My number 4 is going to be Eddie Murphy, Delirious.
Nice. That's the one in the purple jumpsuit?
The red jumpsuit.
The red jumpsuit.
That's the red jumpsuit.
Yes.
Yeah. That's my favorite Eddie Murphy one.
Can't argue it. Great special.
I love his bit where he's talking about the ice cream man.
Ice cream man.
Ice cream man. Get your data. Hey, Claire. Throwing money.
It's a great special.
And you know the driver's in there going, hey, watch these fat kids run. And he speeds up a little bit. You're putting your order in and you're short of breath and you can't get it out.
Poop in the bathtub?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it's
man.
a great special. Again, but that one is a little bit of a tough watch now because of how kind of politically incorrect it is.
I don't give
No.
shit.
Listen. Political incorrectness doesn't bother me at all. But it's stark in that one. Like, he uses... Making a joke about, like, someone's sexuality doesn't bother me.
Right.
But, like, calling someone queer or a fag is something you're not used to hearing. And it's so, like, jarring. Like, it jars you out of it. You're like, oh, my God. You know?
Yeah.
It's just his choice of words are not words we'd use, which we'd find them to be, like, inappropriate now.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at that time, it wasn't.
Right. Yeah.
It was just in the vernacular of everyone. But now they're so jarring, some of the terms he uses. You're like, wow.
I'm going to win this race. He did Elvis.
Yeah.
That was his Elvis impersonation.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great special. All of his stuff's good. All of Eddie Murphy's early stuff is amazing.
I like his white voice.
Yeah.
His white voice is great.
He does a Bill Cosby impression somewhere during the show. Yep.
Oh, my turn?
You're number 4.
My number 4. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to go with Brian Regan, the epitome of hyperbole. This was my first...
That's a great one.
Another clean one. Yeah, this is the one with...
Stupid in School.
Yeah, peanut butter.
No, it's not.
This is peanut butter. I'm not dirty in 2 knives.
Oh,
Yes.
is it not
No.
Stupid in School?
No.
Stupid School never came out as a special, right? Just as a CD?
Yep.
Well, the joke with the science fair is in this one.
Because that's my favorite Regan.
This is the one with the Pop-Tarts.
Oh, yeah. Pop-Tarts and you seem to like pie. Yeah.
He's...
My brother Mike put me onto him.
Yep.
And my brother Mike was always going to Caroline's, or what's the other big one?
The Cellar?
The Cellar, yeah. Comedy Cellar.
The Comedy Cellar.
And once I hit like 18, my brother started taking me to all the shows. And I saw Bill Burr when he was a nobody. I saw Brian Regan was a somebody back then. But he, like, Bill Burr, like, opened up for him or something like that. And the fact that he can do it so clean, and he's an animated guy too.
Very much.
His mannerisms are great.
And he's one of those guys that is really masterful at bringing a joke back full circle at the end of a show.
Yeah.
You know, like I love when that happens. Like you went 20 minutes without hearing that joke, and then he brings it back 20 minutes later, and I love when he does that.
The hardest I maybe ever laughed in my life was seeing him live, and he did Stupid in School, and I knew those jokes from Opie and Anthony.
Yeah.
But to watch him with all his being as animated as he was, and he does that whole like moosin, boxing routine. Oh my God! And the line slap an F on that and move on.
Just slap it up on there and move on.
Yeah.
KAT, I'm out of here.
I knew it was spelled with 2 T's.
Like that. That's I always thought that was called Stupid in School. Is that on that same album?
No, it's not on that one.
No, because that's my favorite.
That's a different. I don't think that was recorded as a special.
He hit like what was that like? What years was that? That was the early 2000s.
Yeah,
he
late
was on
90s.
such a run.
Oh yeah,
where everything he did was just brilliant.
Yeah,
take luck and care for it.
Yeah. Enjoy your meal, you too.
You too. I used to say that all the time. I still say that.
People say it to me all the time, and every time someone says that, I laugh thinking of Brian Regan.
Right.
Or I never, ever tell a woman, congratulations on being pregnant because of him.
Yeah.
Never.
When's that baby due?
What baby? What baby? At the zoo. The pandas.
The big yellow one's the sun. There's so many things.
From that, like if you used to go back, like If there's one I can recommend going back and listening to, it's those. Because, again, extremely not topical.
Yeah.
Like just Google Brian
Just
Regan.
being kind of goofy and being a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
He's good at picking out, like, the little things in life that are odd.
Yeah.
You know? And then making these big, big bits. Like, saying you too. Enjoy your trip. You too to the cab driver.
Right.
Like, it's such a little thing.
Enjoy your meal. You too.
Yeah. But he makes such a big, great bit out of that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's really a technician when it comes to writing jokes. My number 3 is going to be Patton Oswalt. My weakness is strong.
God, you guys are taking my stuff now. I'm shuffling everything around.
That is one of my favorite.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
He has talking for clapping and my weakness is strong. And there's actually 2 others.
Annihilation,
which is the new one. I don't like Annihilation.
It was okay.
That whole bit where he
It's
talks
rough.
about his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were right about that. That brings you down.
Yeah, my weakness is strong. He closes that bit with an airplane. He closes that show with a bit about a wizard, about a magician, rather. He opened for a magician, and that's brilliant. And there's a bit in there about an airplane. Now, lots of comedians do an airplane bit, but his is such a unique take on it. I like nerdy stuff, and he's good at like tying that in. I love My Weakness is Strong. It's really worth. It's old, probably 10 years old at this point, but it's so good. I really enjoyed that special.
All right, well, Steve, you said it already. I'm gonna go with Brian Regan as my number 3.
Same special?
Yeah, same one.
Honestly, would have put him on there if I thought I didn't think about it.
It's like Steve said. It's one of my easier to remember bits.
Oh, I know all of his.
Use them all the time.
Yep, all the time.
Got to see him live, so it's up there.
I have Bill Burr as my number 3.
Which one?
Now this was the hard part. Like I went because what I did was I typed in Bill Burr comedy specials, and I'm looking for the outfit that I recognized from the one that I would watch, and it said One Night Stand. So he was on a show called One Night Stand. I don't think it was necessarily a special,
right?
But it was called One Night Stand. But there was also one that I saw that
Let It Go was his first Netflix one.
No, it wasn't that. It was way before Netflix.
Okay.
There was another one called Why Do I Do This?
Yeah.
That one.
That's a good one.
Is my quintessential Bill Burr.
Is it? That's early Burr.
Yeah, very early Burr. I like very early.
That's
Burr.
one where he gets in a fight with his girlfriend.
Yes.
Tries to hit him.
Well, he does. He talks about girlfriend issues in a lot of his.
Yeah. That's the one where she tries to hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love this guy. I love his podcast. I love his attitude towards things. He's just great. Do you ever see when he goes off in Philadelphia?
Yeah. On the Opie and Anthony Virus tour.
Yeah. He goes out on the stage in Philadelphia, and they just boo him. He has like the first minute he's bad.
Because they booed everybody.
Yeah.
The Opie and Anthony fans were animals, and they thought it was fun to boo, and they booed everybody. And he went out knowing it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And he won't leave the stage.
He's like, I'm on here for 15 minutes. You're getting all 15 minutes of this act.
And for 15 minutes, he just trashes Philly.
Dude, he made fun of Philadelphia off the top of his head
Good
for
for him.
15 minutes. And every once in a while...
He turns the crowd.
Yeah.
Over 50 minutes, he turns the crowd.
But over the 15 minutes, he's telling them how much time is left. It's great.
Yeah, it's this really like crappy YouTube video, like something on a cell phone, but 20 years before some video was any good.
But the audio is really good.
Yeah. Because they had it from the radio show.
Oh, okay.
So that's what they lay over it. But, what kind of towns, best sports heroes, fictional?
Yeah.
Rocky Balboa. Oh.
He's like, 10 minutes left.
Yeah,
he's like, the Flyers, when's the last time they won a Stanley Cup? And, whatever they was talking about.
8 minutes left.
8 minutes left, and it's great. By the end, they're cheering him on.
Yeah. Like,
by the end, they're cheering him on.
It is just, he knew what he was walking into and went, no, I'm not going to let you ruin this.
Yeah.
And just attacked an entire city.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah. He's a great comedian. I think he's the best comedian working.
Okay.
I do. I think he's the best comedian working today.
Working, meaning like didn't get caught sexually harassing people?
No, I just think like a lot, like you wouldn't say that some of the older comedians are still around doing it anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he's the best guy out doing it right now.
Okay.
He's real, he puts out a special every year, every 2 years.
Yeah, and they're all pretty good.
Yeah.
They're all pretty good.
So my number 2 is also Bill Burr.
Oh, sweet.
Very specifically, I'm Sorry You Feel That Way.
Okay. Is this the Netflix one?
That's the black and white Netflix one.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That, I think,
that's a good one.
Is just...
They're all good.
It's not going to last, that one, because it's so topical. It's so topical. Like, he talks about the Duck Dynasty and stuff like that.
Right.
But he does a bit that spoke to me in that about just getting older and kind of letting his religion go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he compares it to the guy letting go of the stone and curling. He's like, I didn't make a big deal of it. I just kind of let it go. And he does a whole bit about why that guy got in trouble. Because for years he was in church telling them, this is the way you are. It's if you go back and watch that one, I have multiple times on the way to Staten Island to do the podcast, put that on and like just listen to it to like put me in the right state of mind to be like, let's be silly.
Right.
Yeah, like
I haven't seen that one. I'll have to watch it.
Oh, the black and white one.
Yeah, black and white one's good.
It's really good. The new one is his most recent one is very political because of the whole Trump Hillary thing, and I didn't like that as much. This one is brilliant. The black and white one is really, really good. Yeah. Yeah. It's one of my favorites.
I haven't seen one of his that I disliked.
No, even the new one, I don't like it as much. It's still very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his podcast is great. I love it. Now, Nicole loves his stand-up, hates his podcast. Absolutely hates. Can't listen to it. She goes, this is boring.
Because he just rambles.
Yeah, it's just him rambling.
It's a lot of sports, too.
There are some sports. I don't think it's heavy in sports.
He talks about whatever went on every weekend in sports. He's a sports fanatic.
Right. Sometimes he watches sports while he does the podcast, which I like. I mean, it doesn't bother me because he talks a lot of Bruins hockey, but I don't know. Joe, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is going to be Bill Cosby himself.
My number 2 is going to be, let's see, Louis C.K. Chewed Up.
Yeah, it's a good special.
I have never laughed so hard in my life for the entirety of a show, of a special, than I have with that one. And I've watched it probably 8 times.
Still laugh
my ass off, man. Oh, do I love that one. I'm pretty sure that's the one with the cinnamon bun, the Cinnabon. He gets off the airport and he just sees the cinnamon bun and he goes, I know I shouldn't eat this, but I just have to. And he's just a glutton and he's just disgusting. And he can be dirty, but he can be smart and he can be clever all at the same time.
Right.
And I don't care, what shit he does on his own time. He should get in trouble for it, and he does get in trouble for it.
Oh, his career is over.
It's over, but you can't.
It's over.
But you can't deny that his specials are hysterical.
Oh yeah, no, he's a great stand-up,
and his shows are funny too. Lucky Louie was funny. There was a show on HBO called Louie.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a good show. Yep. Like he produced some good stuff. He was a very talented man. Sick in the head, a little very perverted, but.
So I heard Joe Rogan ask a bunch of comedians now recently because of that.
Yeah.
Hey, do you think you can be a funny comedian and be completely with it? And to a man, they all go, nope. You have to be
a little off.
Because in order to have that worldview where you find everything absurd, you got to be a little off. Like Seinfeld says it all the time. Like he's a very deep down unhappy man. He's like, everything bothers me.
Yeah.
But that's where the comedy comes from.
Right.
Not being happy and well adjusted.
I think creative people in general kind of are look at the world differently, right?
Yeah,
like I mean, painters and artists and
yeah,
they have to look at the world differently in order to make something that you've never seen before or heard before.
Comedy also comes from like a place of, I don't want to say like
despair. Sometimes
I was gonna say almost anger.
Yeah,
like it comes from a mean place.
Right.
All comedy, is mean. All comedy, it's mean about another person or it's mean about yourself. Comedy is mean.
Yeah, you think it's mean? You just don't think it's an observation. A lot of it is observational.
Yes, but it's always the mean spin on that.
Okay, I don't know about that. I'm not so sure about that. I don't think Seinfeld is mean, and that's very funny and very observational. I mean, maybe some of it can be.
You're mocking is mean, and you're always mocking the subject in some manner. You're taking like the British say, you're taking a piss. You're taking a piss out of it. You're mocking the subject, whatever it is. Even Seinfeld.
Yeah.
You're mocking maybe the silliness of certain things and the impracticalness of certain things in our society, but you are taking a hand at them.
So do you think comedy's gonna go away?
That's a lot of comedians are concerned about that in this politically correct era. But that's why you like the guys like Chappelle who's up there just doing it anyway.
Right.
You know what I
and
mean?
Everyone loves Chappelle. Everyone
Not
respects
everyone.
Chappelle. No?
He got a lot of flack for making those jokes about
Yeah, but from other comedians?
No,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
No, comedians, Yeah. They're a bad judge though. Like they don't have the same filter that
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. What's your number 1, Mikey?
Dave Chappelle.
Oh, which one?
Killing Them Softly.
Yeah, you talk about that one a lot.
Yeah, it's such a good special.
Nice.
And I can't relate to a lot of the material, like growing up in the projects. So I can't relate to any of that. But he does such a good job of telling it. And like, being afraid when you get pulled over by the cops. I've never had that. Never. but he does such a good job of relating that and making it humorous. I just love that special.
Yeah.
And it was him at the height of his stand-up before he got, like, that's what led him to getting the Chappelle Show. You know, it was that kind of era of stand-up. It's a brilliant, brilliant special. Chappelle killing them softly. I don't even want to ruin the bits. It's that good to worth go back and see.
All right.
Yeah.
My number one's going to be Kevin Hart. Seriously funny.
I've never seen any Kevin Hart stand-up. It's good?
He's good.
Yeah?
He tells a really good story.
I almost put Chris Rock on my list, but I didn't.
He's got so many funny bits. This one, he's got...
I've never seen him in a movie. I've never seen him in a TV
His
show.
stand-up's a lot different.
Very different, yeah.
Very, very different.
Really?
He's got one about his Uncle Richard who gets out of prison. And he's like, hey, we're going to go out, take you out, meet some ladies, have a good time. And he goes out, and he's like, the whole theme of the story is how his uncle learned terms in prison that he didn't know where they came from.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're at the bar, and my uncle gets into a fight, and he calls me to back him up. He's like, yo, Chris, pin the tail on his ass. He's just like, what? What are you talking about? He's like, go pin the tail on his ass. He's like, Uncle, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, this is ridiculous. He's like, say it with your chest, brother. And the way he tells the story, like, I don't do it any justice, but he has a way of just, it's a different person from the actor that you see to his stand-up.
So. All right.
I've seen a bunch of his stand-ups, and they're all really good. They're all funny. I laugh out loud. He's not very dirty.
Mm-hmm.
No, not really. He's high energy.
Right.
Yeah.
I caught him on a show on a HBO Showtime once, and he was wearing like this big leather outfit.
It's this one. This is the one.
And the whole time I was just like, he must be sweating his ass off. And I just didn't get into it.
Right.
For whatever reason. All right, cool.
Yeah, seriously funny.
I almost had Chris Rock's, the one where he talks about Robitussin. And when you run out of Robitussin, you just put more water in the bottle and shake it up, and you got more Robitussin. I don't know what special that is, but I remember that being a great special. This one's really hard
I've
for me.
never loved Chris Rock.
Yeah, I'm not
I
a
don't
fan
know
of his.
why. And I know I know what he is for stand up, and I know how much people love him. I know how much other comedians like Seinfeld thinks he's the best guy working.
Wow.
But I just don't. I've never really gotten it. Like, he makes me laugh, but I don't love his stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, Joe took my number one. It was Eddie Murphy, Delirious.
That's very good.
Yeah.
But there was one other. So I shifted stuff around as we went along. But there was one comedy special. It's another fairly clean one. It's not as clean. It's not like squeaky clean like Regan,
Cosby.
or not squeaky clean like that. But it's not dirty like Bill Burr or Jim Norton.
Right.
It's Robert Schimmel. Do you know Robert Schimmel?
Yep.
And the name of the special was called Unprotected. I remember this might have been the one where I asked you to come over and said we got to watch this special together. And it's clean, and it gets a little a little racy at times, but nothing like you don't want, nothing like you'd be embarrassed for people to hear or something like that. I don't think it's I don't think there's a problem with political correctness in it at all or anything like that. But I remember just watching the crap out of this special all the time. I remember, and this is like one of the things that is one of the specials where I actually remember a joke out of, where he was having a stomach problem and he didn't know who to call, so he calls his dad. He calls his dad at work and he goes, "Dad, my stomach's killing me. I just took you're never gonna believe it. I took a black shit. My shit was black, Dad." He goes, "Robert, you're not gonna believe this. I'm in a meeting and you're on speakerphone." And it was just one of those things that was just so stupid and funny, and you just didn't see it coming.
Right.
And it was that kind of comedy. And he talked about his kids and he talked about having a dog, and it was just clean stuff. And I usually don't necessarily like stuff like that. Like, I hate what's that guy's name? Flanagan? Not Flanagan.
Yeah, Jim Flanagan.
Jim Flanagan?
You don't like Jim Gaffigan?
Gaffigan.
There you go.
Oh, no, he's funny, man.
Yeah. My brother Mike tells me to watch it.
Watch Beyond the Pale.
Beyond the Pale, okay.
That, like, he's done 5 Netflix. The last one's called Cinco.
Yeah.
Go back and watch, I think it's 3 or 4, Beyond the Pale.
Okay.
It's very good.
All right.
Gaffigan's funny. He's very dry.
Yeah.
He's funny, though. I like Gaffigan.
All right.
I had that on my list.
So that was my number one. Robert Schimmel, Unprotected. So you want to do any honorable mentions?
Yeah.
I have 3 here.
I have a whole bunch, so go ahead.
Okay. Mine first. Okay, Jim Norton.
Which one?
American Degenerate.
Oh, okay. That's good.
That was the early one.
Yeah.
That was one of his early ones.
I like Monster Rain.
I'm hit or miss with him.
Really?
Yeah.
He's really dirty. You really got to get into that.
And I'm fine with the really dirtiness. That's fine.
He's
with me.
really dirty. He's the one where I stole that bit, like, comedy's mean. That's his.
Oh, okay.
He's the one who That's why he doesn't think women are inherently funny, because women are not inherently mean.
Oh.
Men are inherently mean.
Yeah.
We just are. You get two men together, they're making fun of one another.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's sort of like what we do. Women don't do that to one another.
You don't think?
Not as much as men do. Like, you can't get 3 or 4 guys in a room and we're just not picking each other apart, because we're inherently, like, almost always competing.
Yeah.
And he thinks that's where comedy comes from. That's his idea, and it made a lot of sense to me.
I also have Bob Saget. That's what I'm talking about. That's where he goes. I mean, you want to talk about
Shocking.
shockingly dirty and filthy.
That's when he talks about the birth of his daughter.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a really funny
He
special.
talks about everything in this one. Oh my God. John Stamos he picks on. But yeah, like, and then he takes out his guitar. He starts singing songs.
It's
at the
almost
end.
shock humor, though. The
Oh,
very
yeah.
beginning of that,
Yeah. And like, he has this, like, the way about him is like, he'll say something horrific and like, oh, I'm just joking. I don't really mean that. I don't really, but it's just, you don't like Bob Saget?
No, I that special is very good.
Yeah.
He's
coming out with a new one, you know.
Not everyone's gonna like his humor.
2017.
It's so shocking.
Oh, he just came out with one.
Did he?
Either just came out with one or it's going to be released soon. Because when I went to go look it up, it came up like he had a new one coming out. And the last one that I have, and this was very hard for me to not put in the top 5, which was George Carlin, You Are All Diseased.
Oh, yes, that's a good one.
That's one of my all-time favorites.
That's a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic. I mean, he was so smart, and the way he structured a joke was so funny. And there was one special, but I was going to pick this other special, which was like a montage of all his comedy.
Right.
Because I remember taping it, and it was just little clips of skits that he did from different specials over the years. So it would go back and forth between the 70s and 80s and 90s. And you know, it went through all his best skits. It was a best of George Carlin show. I was going to put that on there, but I didn't think it was fair that it wasn't an actual special.
Who cares?
But I love that one. But that you got to see the best. You got to see the best of what he brought to the table. Why sports aren't sports? I still go by his rules. Why certain sports aren't sports. I love it. And people argue with me all the time, but then Opie and Anthony kind of had a rule about sports that I was like, yeah, that might be a little bit better than George Carlin's
His is really
rule.
good, though.
Is it?
That whole bit he does about
great.
sports is really good.
Yeah, the bit is amazing. What do you guys honorable mentions?
This is a really different one. Andrew Dice Clay, The Day the Laughter Died, though, which is actually a comedy CD.
Yeah.
And it is him bombing.
Oh man.
And he bombed so bad that he put it out.
Wow.
And it's called The Day the Laughter Died. Mm-hmm. And it's like right at the height of when he was being Dice and the Dice Man. And he goes to a club to work out a new routine.
Yeah.
And it's all new stuff. And he just, oh my God, he just trips over his own dick the entire time. It's really, really uncomfortable. But that's what makes it so funny.
Yeah.
The Day the Laughter Died.
That's why he put it out. He knew people were going to find it amusing.
That one's great. Patrice O'Neill.
Oh, man, how did I forget about Patrice O'Neill?
The elephant in the room.
Is that the one where he's wearing all black?
Yep.
Oh,
with the black fedora.
Yes.
Brilliant one.
I would redo my list if I remembered.
That's a great one. Tom Segura.
Don't know him.
He's a pretty new. He's had 2 big specials. And he has a new one coming out this week. Mostly Stories, it's called.
Okay.
And he's a comedian that mostly tells stories. Mm-hmm. And he tells a story about being on a plane with Mike Tyson that is fantastic. And he tells a story about it's all him telling stories, and they're excellent. He's an excellent comedian.
Okay.
He's very, very good.
The Bob Saget one is called 0 to 60.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to check that out.
I had Gaffigan Beyond the Pale. Well, I had an odd one. Tim Allen.
I've never seen his stand-up.
I only know of one. Men Are Pigs.
Okay.
And it was right when he was doing like Tool Time and all that. So he's almost playing that character.
Yeah.
And it probably wouldn't hold up at all now. It probably wouldn't. But it's all about being like a manly man and like being bad at it.
Yeah.
And it's the whole the set is very 90s.
Right.
And it's all like a cartoon workbench behind him.
Okay.
I haven't seen it in probably 20 years.
Yeah.
But I remember loving it.
Yeah.
And I might have been of the era and the time I was.
Right.
And I have one more. Richard Jenny.
I know the name, and I probably know the special.
A big steaming pile of me. It's a very good special. He killed himself, Richard Jenny.
Oh, man.
Because he was in that era of like Seinfeld and Ray Romano and wasn't able to get the Hollywood fame that he thought he deserved. He ultimately ended up killing himself due to depression, but that special is brilliant. A big steaming pile of me. Yeah.
Jennings or Jenner?
Jenny. Jeni. Yeah, Richard Jenny. Is old. 2005, 2004.
He killed himself?
Killed himself. You know him when you see him, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he killed himself. He was never able to get like a big part or on a big TV show.
Wow, I know him immediately.
Yep.
Oh, he was funny.
Yeah, he's very good. There's a lot of like Kevin Meaney is a great comedian. There's lots of like comedians. Dom Herrera. Mm-hmm. There's lots of.
No Richard Pryor, huh? Unless I just spoiled Joe's.
Yeah, I got Richard Pryor live in concert.
Yeah,
his very first one.
Amazing. That's one where he sets himself on fire.
I think so.
That Live at the Sunset Strip, is that what that one's called?
That's the second one.
That's the second one.
Yeah, and then I had you talked about Patton Oswalt. I have Talking for Clapping.
That's the other one. They're both.
Yeah.
Is that the one where he talks about being a cashier? He gets to be the cashier at Stop and Shop.
Yes.
And that one's great. I lived out my dream of being a cashier at a Stop and Shop today.
Was that when he gets to bag his own goods?
Yeah.
Yes.
The self-checkout?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a Patton Oswalt joke?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know that.
He's really funny.
You say that you said that on our podcast.
I stole it, yeah.
He watches all these comedies, but he's like, I got all this material, guys.
No, it's really hard, like, to not pull.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
No, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. That's it?
That's all I got.
That was pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed that. We enjoyed it a lot.
Go out and watch comedy, man.
Yeah.
It's a really good, like, diversion. It's fun to get away. Go to a comedy club.
Comedy clubs are great.
Yeah.
We should do that. That's another thing to add to our list.
It's a very different atmosphere to be in, like, this small, confined, low-ceiling space, dark, with all strangers. And if you get a comedian that just feels the room right and gets the crowd right vibe and they just kill, you'll never laugh like that, ever.
Yeah.
When you get a comedian who's just murdering.
Yeah. Do you ever laugh so hard you get pneumonia?
No.
I have.
I've laughed so hard like you're afraid you can't catch your breath.
Yeah. All right, why don't you give Tony a quick lead into Comic Book Corner?
Take it away, Tony. Pew pew.
Comic Book Corner, brought to you by Comic Book Jones, located at 2220 Forest Avenue in Staten Island, and Royal Collectibles at 9601 Metropolitan Avenue in Queens, New York. Visit these fine establishments for all of your comic book needs.
Okay, so this week, continuing with our interviews of comic book artists and independent comic book creators, we are going to listen to an interview that I did with Joshua D. Howell of Fierce Literature. He has a book called The Fierce Are Fading. He was a very nice guy. He was sitting there doing some drawings at, I want to say this was New York Comic Con that we did this interview with Josh. And he was sitting there just doing some drawings, and he had some cool stuff. And he was very open to giving us a quick interview. The artist that he has, or the inker and color that he had, this was the guy that sent his stuff to like Germany or Switzerland to get colored, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he like sent it like to Europe or whatever.
Yeah, you'll hear it in the interview. I haven't listened to the interview since I interviewed him, but he was a really, really nice guy.
No, I'm thinking of the artist from New York Comic Con.
I think this is him.
Is him?
I think this is the guy from New York Comic Con. Yeah, his name is Josh D. Howell from Fierce Literature, and you can find him at joshuadhowell.com, and I'm sure he'll say that in the interview. But hope you enjoy it.
Whenever you're ready, say your name, your book, and... Okay, I'm Josh Howell. My book is The Fierce Are Fading. It's a graphic novel, kind of a sci-fi thriller. It follows FBI agent Riley Harper. She's looking for her missing partner, and the more she tries to find him, the more crazy stuff happens around her. There's genetic monsters, there's secret societies, female assassins, and all that fun stuff.
Does it take place in the future, or is it present day?
It's present day, yeah. So, when someone goes teleporting, everybody thinks they're dead, and she's the one person that's like, maybe the technology exists somehow and we just don't know about it, and thus the mystery ensues.
Who's the artist on the book?
The artist is Ilaria Apostoli. She's a 19-year-old girl in Italy. I did a lot of local auditions, and I kept on running into the same problem. There's these guys that not just guys, girls too, that like to over-sexualize characters for no apparent reason.
Right.
And that's just not my book. So I found her on Facebook. We really vibed together. She liked that there was a strong, female lead. We raised money on Kickstarter to pay for her, and now she's blown up, man. She's got like the next 3 years booked up, and with projects, and so I'm really happy for her.
So where can we find you on social media? Where can we get the book?
Yeah, Facebook, just search The Fierce Are Fading. I'm out there. I've got a website, joshuadhowell.com. Otherwise, we're also on Amazon. The books are more expensive on Amazon, so I try to go to as many Comic-Cons as I can and meet people in person and say, hey, share the book.
you have a Twitter handle?
Twitter, I do. Yeah, it's Avery Aces 86.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So yeah, thanks to Josh for giving some time to us to speak to us about his books and where you can find them, and we're going to be putting them on Twitter and getting them on Twitter and Facebook and everything like that, and hopefully he'll promote that for us as well. So go check out The Fierce Are Fading. Joe, did you read the comic books this week?
Yeah, I read 2 really good trades.
All right.
One was called Paper Girls.
Yeah, you showed me these.
And the tag at Midtown Comics was Stranger Things meets War of the Worlds.
Wow.
And that's exactly what it is.
Huh.
It's basically it's 4 girls who live in a town and they're on a paper route and they start to notice weird things going on, you know? And they come across aliens, which are teenagers from the future.
Mm-hmm.
And you find out that these teenagers are fighting adults who are trying to get rid of all the kids in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of time travel and whatnot. I read volume 1. It ends on a cliffhanger. I can't wait to pick up volume 2. The art was good. The story was good. It's very original. Outside of your superhero stuff, it's just, like I said, Stranger Things in comic book form. It's fantastic.
Nice. Let me check that. You got to let me borrow that.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah. And then the other one I read was called East of West.
Okay.
And that one is
all about Kanye West
Yes.
and his daughter.
It's a Western kind of book meets what's the Designated Survivor kind of, the TV show with Kiefer Sutherland? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So you have...
Is it Kiefer Sutherland? That's 24.
No.
Designated Survivor has Kiefer Sutherland in it too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he becomes the president.
Oh, okay.
So
Nice.
in this book, it's like a Western. You have the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of them
I like that already.
went missing.
Okay.
The other 3 kind of respawn.
Yeah.
And they're children. Death is still around.
Okay.
And the reason why he's still around because he found love. And in this book, it's the horsemen are trying to corrupt society. They have their own agenda, so they're trying to find some people who are going to change the world in their vision.
Mm-hmm.
And you have Death who's trying to kill everybody that took his love away.
Oh, okay.
Right. So he kills the president because the president had a big. They were using Death for whatever reason. They turn on him. They take his wife away. You don't know why, and you're gonna. I guess I'll find out in volume 2 or 3 or whatever.
Oh, cool.
But it's a really good book.
Do you know the publishers of these books?
Image Comics.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Cool, man.
If you want to get them, if you're interested in buying any of them, they're on Amazon for $10 each.
Nice.
I'm hooked. These are for $10. I can't go wrong.
Yeah.
The art's great. The story's great.
Sounds cool. It sounds different too.
Oh yeah, it's I read Paper Girls on a night. East of West. It took me a little bit to read because there's a lot of backstory and plot twists and whatnot.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I not only enjoy the art but understood what the story was going.
Cool.
Very good.
I didn't get to read much this week because I was sleeping mostly, trying to recover from being old.
Breathing.
But I did get this.
He was in his iron lung.
I did get this week's Action Comics, which I'm really enjoying the story.
Have your nurse read to you?
My home nurse?
Yeah.
She's so nice. Action Comics has been, it's picked up from that Jor-El, Mr. Oz effect kind of thing. And supposedly, Jor-El got off of Krypton before it exploded. And Superman's kind of asking questions about how that happened. And if this guy who visited him was really his father.
Right.
Was really Jor-El, or was it someone making believe to be Jor-El? And you don't know if this leads into Doomsday Clock at all. So that's why I kind of got back into Action Comics.
Right.
Because I stopped reading it, but I wanted to get back to make sure that anything with Doomsday Clock was, together. So I don't know if it's gonna, but it might. So he tries to go back. He takes the Flash's treadmill, the time treadmill that Batman used. Everyone's taking this treadmill and using it for the wrong reasons. But he goes back in time to Krypton to see if his dad actually gets off the planet.
Oh.
And Booster Gold intercepts him and says, we can't do this. We're gonna ruin everything. You can't do it. And it's been a 3-part series,
right,
with Booster Gold trying to convince Superman that this isn't a good idea. So they get on Krypton, and immediately they start changing the timeline because people see Superman as Superman on Krypton, which isn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So all these timelines are getting changed, and each subsequent issue, has been them trying to get home and them ending up somewhere they're not supposed to be. So they're all one-shots. They're actually really interesting stories because, they think they're going to go back to normal, Metropolis, and they end up because they run out of fuel, they end up in some alternate timeline.
Right.
And they have to try to get out of it without ruining it. And as they're trying to leave, they leave and something else happens and a part breaks and they end up in Gotham City in 100 years from now. So it's pretty interesting where they're all kind of these little one-shot issues.
DC's just nailing it, man.
They're really nailing it. And Booster Gold's a cool character.
Yeah.
Like reading him in this made me go back and buy a trade paperback called 52 Pickup, which is what I read to be like the quintessential Booster Gold book. So that's really all I read. But I do want to bring up Jay Taylor from last week.
Right.
You might have heard our interview with Jay Taylor last week, and he was nice enough to share with us some digital comics.
Yeah.
That we will read.
I haven't gotten to read them. I just saw the email today and I downloaded them. I'll make sure I'll have them for next week.
One thing that he also shared with us was his sketchbook, which I really enjoyed.
Really?
Yeah, it's a 28. A lot of artists do this, and I didn't know artists did this until I started watching them on YouTube and stuff. But what they'll do is they'll keep, they'll make copies of their sketchbook. These aren't things that they sold or anything like that. They're just things that they doodled or drew on their own time. And they'll print off copies of their own sketchbook and sell it. Todd Knock sells his sketchbooks. This guy on YouTube, Jazza, sells his sketchbooks. So he was like, yeah, along with the comics, I also put up my sketchbook. So I was really interested in seeing the sketchbook. And he has some great artwork in there. All types of different things. There's a couple pages of Aquaman, a couple pages of Superman, just random characters maybe that he made up or that I just didn't recognize. There were a couple Wolverines, things like that. It was like 28 pages. So I emailed him back and I was like, dude, your sketchbook is great. Is it for sale? And he was like, it is. And you can get copies of it on the website, on thesquarecomics.com. And he's actually just sending it out to the printer now to be printed off.
Cool.
So if you want to get a copy of Jay Taylor's sketchbook, you can go to onthesquarecomics.com and order one there. That's it really for comics. So now we're going to go to social shit time.
It's time once again for your favorite segment. What time is it?
Social shit time!
All right!
All right, so last week we talked about how I left work to get a microphone and got back and my principal was there waiting for me, right? I didn't get in trouble, but...
no, you're a protected class.
Right, I was...
That's an old joke, Joe.
I could have potentially gotten in trouble. So I put the question out on Twitter, have you ever gotten in trouble at work? Or did you ever get caught doing something you weren't supposed to do at work?
I have one that falls in perfectly with this.
Okay, go for it.
Last time you and I went camping, Joe, I am supposed to work till 5 o'clock.
Right.
So I'm the boss in the restaurant, except for my boss who runs the entire, market. So I said, you know what? I'm going to have the night manager come in early. I'm going to get out because I don't want to sit in traffic. So I'm going to leave at 2. Right? 3 hours early. Lunch is over. I set the restaurant up. I got there at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I killed the day.
Right.
2 o'clock, he's done. I'm like, all your work for tonight is done. I'm going home. Enjoy your night. I get like 15 minutes outside the restaurant. My boss calls me. I'm at your restaurant.
Where are you?
Where are you?
Oh, no.
And I was like,
we ran out of milk.
I was like, he's like, Justin told me you went on vacation. I'm like, you knew I was going on vacation? He's like, yeah, I was coming to see you before you went. Wanted to wish you a good trip and talk to you about a couple of things. I was like, he's like, go now. I was like, you want me to come back? He's like, no, I don't want you to come back. He's like, how about you text me next time you leave it early? I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry.
You have anything like that, Joe?
No.
Oh, completely caught, dude. I never leave early. Yeah. Never.
There was one time I left early on accident. I didn't find out till I was already on the bus crossing the Verrazano Bridge. We used to when I first started at this particular school, we used to have 1-year teacher meetings every Monday after school with one of the principals, and he would teach us about like the pedagogy of the school and whatever else, right? So I had I got out early or whatever. I left and I was on the bus and I'm dead asleep on the bus. We just pass over the Verrazano Bridge onto the expressway. I'm about 10 minutes from home.
Right.
I get a text message from one of the other teachers in the group and he's like, dude, we're waiting on you. Where are you? And I'm like, where am I? Where am I supposed to be? Where am I supposed to be? And I'm like, oh no, it's Monday. I got that 1-year teacher meeting. And I text him back. I'm like, dude, I totally forgot. Tell, principal so-and-so that I'm sorry. Does he want me to come back? I'll get off the bus. I'll get on another bus. The next text message back to me was my principal giving me the finger, which was, I was like, thank God. All right, he's cool, you know. But we did get 2 responses. I guess people don't want to admit that they did something bad at work. But do you remember Mark from So Wizard Podcast?
No.
He podcasted with us. You can find him at MRay's Guns. Thing that I was caught doing at work that I shouldn't have. Working at a movie theater back in the day, the candy supply room was on the 2nd floor. We didn't have an elevator, so we'd have to drop down these big cardboard boxes of candy to someone waiting on the 1st floor. Not a giant drop, just about 6 or 10 feet. If the person on the bottom missed the catch, no big deal because the candy wasn't fragile. All except the Reese's Pieces. The bags containing those were pretty flimsy, so if you dropped them, there's a chance that a couple of the 24 bags would be popped on impact. It rarely happened, but I was feeling particularly snacky for some Reese's Pieces. I'd make sure I was the guy dropping the candy down the 1st floor. I got caught one day turning the normally 6 to 10 foot candy drop into a 14-foot candy
Throw it up first.
Simply because me and the other ushers felt like some delicious peanut butter candies that day. So I got
Instead of dropping it, you're on your tippy toes, throwing it into the air.
We got a stern talking to. I know not the most exciting story, but anything really exciting may have gotten me fired. So thanks for that, Mark. And we got one from Tim Berger, 13. So the answer to my question, have you ever been caught doing something at work you shouldn't have? When I was 20, I worked at the local YMCA as a lifeguard. One morning I had to open...
6 people drowned.
One morning I had to open up the pool and guard by myself for an hour and a half. In the mornings, there aren't a lot of swimmers, so I decided to take a nap on the lifeguard stand. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
I slept the whole hour and a half while people came in to swim. The next guard came in, found me sleeping. Thankfully, I didn't get in trouble.
No one drowned.
Oh my Lord.
Did you see the video of the guy sleeping at the Waffle House?
No.
Oh, there's a video on the internet of a guy. He walked into a Waffle House like somewhere down south, and I guess at a Waffle House at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, some of these more remote towns, because Waffle House is 24 hours, there's only one employee, like cook / counter server.
Yeah.
He fell asleep. This guy came in, saw him sleeping, said
him.
no, cooked his own meal.
That was nice.
Sat, ate, put the dishes all away, and then left, and then came back, left the money and the tip.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a video. It's out, it was out on this week. I saw it.
That's funny.
And he's selfieing with the guy sleeping, like tossing eggs and stuff.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
One guy's Waffle House, sound asleep all by himself.
We also got a couple of Twitter comments I want to read out. From our biggest fan, Librarian Kate. She wrote, at dinner and a podcast. Now, you got to see the picture. The picture is...
I saw this. I almost commented.
An orange juice can next to a can of Blue Moon.
Not okay.
And I am infamous, for putting orange juice in my Blue Moons. And Mike and Joe make fun of me all the time for doing this on the show. So Kate decided that she was going to do this, and she says, the flight attendant looked at me a little funny when I asked for this, but I got to give you credit. It works. Ha! It works.
No, it doesn't.
Thank you, Librarian Kate. No. She's not the
You need
only...
to get that a name, Steve.
Yeah, it's
Act Like a Man, you can call it.
Stevie. Here's one for you. Your biggest fan, our number 2 fan, Mike's biggest fan, Paige.
Oh, okay.
She says, Mike, who has ever heard of a Girl Scout leader that doesn't like camping? It's like a pilot who doesn't like to fly.
I agree 100%.
She goes, really? I hope they can find a new group. My daughter loved camping with her friends. Great episode.
No, that's why. We camp.
Yeah.
I figured, they should be camping and doing all kinds of scouty things.
She also says, looking forward to the new year and new episodes. Hope everyone is doing good.
Doing well.
I'm dying. Oh, and this one I had to say, it was another Librarian Kate comment. The whole conversation about the guitar had me wondering, drawing, music, science geek, what can Steve do?
Drink beer like a man.
And she goes, when are we going to get...
Apparently breathe.
When are we going to get...
Take care of his health.
When are we going to get a video of some mad musical talent? You will not be getting any... Well, there are videos of me.
Yeah, I'll tell you something Steve can't do.
See?
There it is. Wheezy.
Wheezy. There is video of me with my cover band. We were called Catalyst. If you ever want to check out Catalyst on YouTube, there are plenty of videos of me playing guitar on top of bars and Joe being there sticking dollars in my pants.
Yes.
Yes. He didn't do that, actually.
Sometimes.
He was there. He was there. Sometimes he got up and sang on the microphone with his brother. I got pictures of you and your brother singing on the microphone.
So, I want to give our listeners some closure on our cookie story last week.
What cookie story?
The free cookies that I'm getting and you're not.
Okay.
So I'm getting free cookies. And now
Girl Scout cookies.
Girl Scout cookies.
So Marie is buying you Girl Scout cookies.
And now I'm getting 2 boxes for my Subway story.
Okay. Let's hear it.
That's it.
Oh, that's it.
That's the story. But, Mike, today on the news, some lady got beat up. Some old lady.
Uh-huh.
I think we have a new business proposition.
Oh, sweet.
Dinner and Podcast Protection Agency.
I like it.
Between you and me,
hey,
clean up the streets.
I called the guy an asshole in the parking lot. Don't forget that.
Through a closed window.
So, I threatened him. I was a threat.
Yeah, threat he was going to catch pneumonia.
Join the conversation on Facebook.com/Dinner and a Podcast. Check out our Instagram and our Twitter handle at Dinner and a Podcast. And email us any questions and comments at dinnerandpodcast@gmail.com. Big thanks to Andrew Brooks for the amazing artwork that he does and the amazing animations that he creates on our YouTube channel. And you can check him out at his site called AndrewBrooksPortfolio.com. And you can check us out on YouTube by searching Dinner and a Podcast. Check out Alejandro Rosado, who made our amazing artwork. You can follow him on Instagram and Twitter at AleroArt. Will Shelton for our awesome theme song. Follow him on SoundCloud at William_Shelton. And lastly, a big thanks to Tony Wolf, who's the voice you hear on all the bumpers during the show. You can follow him at Tony Wolfness on Twitter and on Instagram. And until next week, I'm Steve.
I'm Joe.
I'm Mike.
Suck it, Sal. Telephone stinks.